jump on that right now?
Pew. Yeah, whenever you're ready. Pew pew. Pew 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 pew. And then Robert comes in and just crushes our pewing dreams. Oh, Wheezy even came in to get on the pew in action. We don't shoot Wheezy. We don't shoot Wheezy. What's up, guys? Y'all are like, wait, that's not Pat. No, it's not Pat. Again, it's not Pat. Last time it was Tessa, and I was like, okay, I'll get the co-host of the Rod Ryan Show, and then I'll get the host of the Rod Ryan Show in back-to-back weeks. What's up, Rod?
What's up? Where's this Pat guy at?
He was it Massachusetts or Rhode Island? He's somewhere up northeast.
Yeah, he had to go to a wedding.
He was at a wedding. He had a big, he went on the keto diet, so he went to buy a seatbelt extender. We've been following that, and he didn't.
Wait! You have to pay for that?
Apparently, yeah. I think you have to upgrade to like an extension, and he was able to fit in the seat without having to get one.
There's
so good
no
for
way
Pat.
they charge you for a seatbelt extender.
He made it seem like they do.
I don't think so.
I think maybe he was just nervous, like he just
They
didn't want
can't. Think about that for a second. They can't.
They can charge you for 2 seats if you're too big to fit into one.
Because you're buying a second seat. They're not going to buy. They're going to charge you because you're fat and you need an extender. There's no way they charge for that.
I think he just didn't want to be that guy that has to get a
Oh,
seat
he didn't want to have to be like, hey,
You don't want to ask for it.
Okay.
You don't want to ask for it. That's like one of the worst things. So I used to, I dated a flight attendant, and she said it's the worst thing because you don't know if you should ask somebody. You see them struggling. She said she would wait for people. You can't suggest that to somebody. Hey, do you need a seatbelt extender? You can't ask that.
It's like with if somebody's stuttering, you're like, do I help you out here, or do I just let it go? Like I'm not going to.
I finish their sentences all the time.
I know, but like, but you feel like an asshole when you do it. You're like, am I making it easier for you?
I think you're helping.
And I don't know. I have no idea. So yeah, Rod, you're back on the pod. On the pod.
When was the last time I was here?
I have wrote it down. I typed it down. I didn't write it down. You were last on it May of 2017, episode 174. This is episode 310.
Oh my God! And this is a new place.
Yeah, new podcast studio.
Dude, I'll tell you what. Your chick is about as cool as they come.
Oh yeah.
What chick would allow her dude to have all this dumb shit around?
I have no idea.
The place isn't huge, but it's nice. But most of it is Alex's crap.
Yeah, it really is.
It really is. This is your dining room.
Well, it's not. It's a studio, but but we talk about it on the morning show though. We were like, millennials don't use dining rooms.
Nobody does.
But because they just sit there and they collect dust. It's like, okay, well now at least the table's getting used every week.
It's nice.
It fits. And at the last place. When you were at the last place, remember I just had all this stupid stuff in our kitchen?
Yes.
And so now Emma's like, okay, well at least now it's not in the fucking kitchen or the living room. You can put all your stupid Giants crap wherever else
Emma
you want.
like a little reading nook in here
she has
or something?
A little nook. She's got her little business nook over there.
A little yoga mat and something, like a she shed type of thing.
I'm working on getting her a she shed. If we could get a she shed sponsor, if anybody wants to sponsor a she shed for Emma, that would actually be really funny, the she shed cam.
Okay, and I do have to say this. So, of course you asked me to do the podcast, and we decided to juice. So I'm juicing right now.
And you're missing out on all this Southern Star beer.
And your chick made this beautiful spread, and I couldn't eat any of it. And then you got these beers out, and you got honey, and you got all this stuff, and I can't eat any of it. I'm juicing.
This is poor timing. This is poor timing.
Charcuterie.
Charcuterie?
That charcuterie board she made was phenomenal.
It was.
Looking. And I said, get it out of here. I can't even look at it.
It was a work of art.
And it was very nice of her.
Yeah, it was awesome. She's the best, and she does put up a lot of our shit. But I don't if I was with somebody else, I wouldn't be. I don't know if this podcast would even be a thing anymore because they'd probably shut up. It's either me or the stupid podcast.
Yes, that's 100%. That would be the case.
She's been very supportive of it, and I appreciate her for doing that.
I spoke with your dad about this podcast probably maybe last year. I think they came out to the track.
Oh, because I was doing a Big Brother podcast and I didn't go with them.
Yeah, so I'm talking to your dad. You're not there. We're at the track. We're drinking beers. And he's talking about this podcast. He's like, yeah, I don't think he's ever going to make any money. And I don't know. He didn't understand it at first. But as always, as we talk about on the show, your parents are so supportive.
With that, it's like, all right, if that's what you want to do,
right.
I'm on your team.
And that's exactly how he was handling it when he talked about it. Because you could tell he really didn't know what the hell a podcast or what it was. I mean, he's pretty woke, dude.
Yeah.
But he didn't really, it's like, well, is he going to make money at it? Parents want to think, in terms of like, okay, is my kid gonna make money doing this?
He just because like going into radio though is sort of like, Mom, Dad, I'm gonna be an artist. Like we're not painting.
Yes.
But like it's not traditional, and when you start out, you don't make anything.
Nothing.
Like you're just broke. And so for years they were like, all right, you're gonna work part time at the radio station, do 2 jobs, okay. All right, we love you. We hope you do well on that, but like, do you have an end game? And I remember talking to him, and I was like, just give me a year. I promise, like I'll figure something out within a year.
And what did a year turn into?
I got hired by you.
So that was you
got
did
hired
put
by
a year.
you, yeah.
You did put a year on it then.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't before. It was like that was probably like 6 months after I had told him that. But he was never like, you got to give this up. I was like, look, I know that I'm getting to an age where I'm like, okay, working the 2-3 part-time jobs isn't going to look great.
Right.
And people are like, what's up with this dude? And I need to be able to make a decision. And then he was like, all right, well, whatever you want to do, And then I got hired, so that paid off.
I don't think, number one, you know this, like you have to really, really love it and want to do it, and then put up with a ton of crap, wait your time, wait your turn. That's the thing that is lost on everyone. Now, we're not swinging a hammer all day.
Right.
And we're not sweating and doing hard labor and turning big rocks into little rocks. There's people out there that
rock and roll, maybe.
Right, but there's people that listen to us that really have what I call real jobs, that work for a living.
Yeah, yeah.
So, number one, that's why we never complain about what we do. But you do have to take a moment, or even use a moment like this to say, man, you know what? If it was easy, everyone would do it. If it was easy, everyone would do it.
And it sounds easy. It does seem easy from the outside looking in, but they don't see the overnights that you worked, having to cut film and audio and all that stuff that you had to do back before technology was really as easy as it is, where we just hit play and it plays, and the overnights and stuff, you spend all that time just, it sucks.
You slept at the radio station before.
So many times. I used to drive in from Huntsville on Friday nights. I'd work high school football games, and then I would sleep at the station. I'd wake up. I'd run the Doug Pike show at 7 a.m. I'd run a game. I'd drive back up to Huntsville. I'd wake up Sunday morning, drive back in, work from 8, run another game, come back up. And then it was Friday, Saturday, Sundays were how I made my money in college. And that was and it wasn't a lot of money because I don't have any of that left from then, because it's just part of it. But I got that. And when I got hired, Brian Erickson, that's the AM program or AM operations manager.
Right.
He was like, so you want to be in radio? You want to be poor? And that was exactly what he said. And I will never forget that. I was like, yeah, I want to do it. I'm in. And when you see other part-time guys that would come in and they'd cycle through because they're just well, I want to be on the air. And I know everybody wants to fucking be on the air, dude. Everybody does.
And and there are other jobs that are at the radio station, but everybody that is getting into it, you get into it to be on the air.
Right.
And then some people there's even people at our radio station that they started out on the air and then they wound up doing sales or in promotions or in other areas.
Oh, definitely.
And all the program directors, Radio Wizard was on the air before. These guys, they were all on air at some point, but then it's not to say that they weren't good. It's just that they kind of had some kind of self-realization that hey, listen, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to have any longevity in this, then I'm going to have to kind of do something else if I still want to be in the game of radio.
Right.
Not everybody can stay on the air. But I asked you if you slept on the floor because, the people that have been doing it a long time and what I call pay their dues.
Right.
Of course I slept on the floor,
It's just part of it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to drive all the way back up to Huntsville to do that. I'm not going to get a hotel because I'm broke, so I'm just going to sleep here because you guys are going to pay me to be here anyways.
Christmas morning, you don't see your family, you're young, you don't have a wife and kids yet, most people when they're starting out, but you still want to see your family and stuff on Christmas morning. I worked at 3 different radio stations. They totally abused me.
Oh, yeah.
2 different AMs and an FM station. In one day, I worked 5, 5, and 5. I'm like, you're kidding me, all day?
Uh-huh.
It sucked. But you didn't want to say no because you were happy to be in the building. You knew they were taking advantage of you, but then you knew you were the smallest turd there.
But so then you're that guy that well, hey, Alex or Rod showed up when we needed somebody to do it. Anytime they'd be like, hey, can you come fill in? I was like, yep, I got you. I'll be there.
And it's one of those things, and unfortunately, it doesn't always work out like that because you want to be noticed. You want them to remember that you were the guy that did that back in the day.
Right.
And if you put in your time, it's so rewarding that if you do stuff like that and you get recognized for it down the road, that's great. There's plenty of people, though, that have put in their time, slept on the floor, talking the same way that we are, and then never got their shot. And
right.
And then it sucks. And those are the people that are really grizzled and you see on the internet and they're like bitching about radio and blah, blah, blah. And, they get mad, but they didn't get their shot. But they put in their time too, I mean, there's a lot of people that didn't make it on the air or to these big, like, full-time careers that put in a ton of time.
Yeah, and believe me, I think about that every single day. When you see like the new board ops going around on the AM, so I'm like, hey man, just fucking stick with it, dude. Just stick with it.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard. I mean, it's just my fallback with all of that is if it was easy, everybody would do it.
Right.
Because it's so cool. But to those early days are the worst, man.
Yeah, and just like no sleep, no anything. I don't really sleep anyways now, but
I don't know how you do what you do.
I'm just gonna die like 10 years earlier. Like I'm just accepting that. It's fine. Emma will be way less annoyed after that point anyway, so she'll just be like, all right, whatever. But like I'm not just smoking or blowing smoke up your ass, but like you have done all of the behind the scenes, like that grunt work. That there's a lot of people that like they get the like they did another they were an athlete or something else and they got an on-air gig because of who they were or whatnot.
Right.
And like you can tell who has worked behind the scenes and who's not, and you can tell you have because you appreciate all of the little things and like but you run your own board. Like that's nuts to me compared to like who else runs their own board that really.
I don't think nobody that I know. No, nobody that I know. Not on a morning show. Not on we have a pretty busy morning show. I mean,
yeah,
a lot of elements. What I mean,
but you're running a lot. You're doing a bunch of stuff. You're spinning a lot of plates, and like you also like ask like there's a lot of times like where you'd have hosts that are like, oh, we get this audio. We need it right now. Like I can't just go grab that right now and give it for you. Like, well, I need it right now. Right. And like you're like, oh, I get it. I get the process. So it's like you're not like because I've been yelled at before for not being able to get stuff. I'm like, I can't just turn that around in 2 seconds. I don't know what you want me to do.
People that haven't had to do that don't understand why they can't have it just fall in their lap.
It seems easy. It's just audio.
I mean, I tell the kids, I say kids, the young people, we have promotions people that, work at our radio station. And when we go out, if you ever come out to one of our gigs, like at a remote.
Say like this Thursday maybe at Boobs Rock, Warehouse 72.
Yep. So you'll see like the promotions. We call them the promotions kids, or I was called a prize pup. So
I think that's the coolest name.
That's where that came from. The prize pups will be there. So it's funny how everybody kind of adopted that. And it's not anything like berating them because I was one. So I was a prize pup. I was doing some part-time stuff on the air, but I also drove the van, set up the table, put out the bumper sticker, stood out in the cold, handed stuff out, made stuff, got stuff ready for the jock to show up.
Yeah.
And then I had all the T-shirts and whatever he needed. I helped him, and then I packed up all the crap, the sound system and everything, and then I drove the van home. So, I mean, I did that job. So when I see these kids, I say kids, these young people that are doing it, I said, you know what? I did that job. I mean, I was you standing there saying, hey, you want to fill this out for BuzzFest tickets? I was walking around and I was giving out, entry forms to things.
And yeah, and they're like that's literally like the ground floor. But we have promotions kids that started there, and now like Callum is he's on KTRH as a board up now.
Yeah.
And he started as a promo guy and was like, hey, I want to do that. And I was like, just apply, dude. Just apply. You can get in.
Yeah, they need warm bodies still. And then again, I hope a guy like that kind of can, you were down there for how long doing that stuff? That was a long time. Like I didn't do it as long as you.
Yeah, I was 08 I got hired 09 part-time and then graduated 2012 and then 2012. So for 3 solid years that was my main job.
Just part-time.
Like not because like I don't really include the weekends because like I was a part-time board up at that point still, but like it wasn't like that was my like I wasn't having to pay the bills,
Right.
And so I did 3 years of that just nonstop. Like
that's a long time.
Like nights, weekends, every weekend, which was like that. Like the working weekends sucks, but like
it's the worst.
Like everyone's like, hey man, what do you want to do something? Like I'm working, dude. I'm sorry. Well, do you want to hang out like Wednesday afternoon, maybe? Like, well, no, I'll be at work. Okay, well, I won't be. So tight.
So on air, overnight weekends is absolutely like the worst. So you go on at midnight and you work till 6 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
And like that's like the biggest, worst, awfulest person on your staff gets that job. And that was me. That was, that's how you learn though. That's how you learn how to do.
Because when you fuck up
what you
at
do
that point, and
correct.
Like there's not enough people listening to where it's like, okay, there's no catastrophe from that.
But the absolute worst is New Year's Eve, midnight to 6 a.m. And Nobody ever at the radio station ever did it 2 years in a row. Because you must have been like the absolute worst person. Nobody's listening to the radio at midnight until 6 a.m. on New Year's Eve. I did it 2 years in a row. Like there was no improvement. Like, like there was nobody worse than me that came up. Like I got that. Nobody ever did that 2 years in a row. That's like my claim to fame. I did it 2 years in a row. I was the absolute worst one on staff. I was the worst. I was the guy like, okay, when nobody's listening, how much this guy can't mess up our radio station, put him on here. That's bad. That's how bad it was.
Well, it paid off though.
Well, yeah.
You learn.
Yeah, it did. You learn that way. You do. You learn that way, and it's good to have, you learn from people how you want to be, and you learn from people how you don't want to be. So,
yeah, 100%.
So you got to learn from every single person, though. Even if it's somebody that's like being a jackass or being a turd or being an asshole, it's like, okay, I'm not going to be like that. You learned from them.
Yeah.
So every single person that you come in contact with, I guess it's probably with life. I don't want to get too deep, but with work though at the radio station, I knew working with people, I saw how they treated others. Mm-hmm. I saw how it was, and I said, okay, I'm going to take a little bit of this guy, I'll take a little bit of this person, and and then I wanted to be a greatest hits.
Right.
I wanted to be a greatest hits of everybody that I worked with. I stole from everybody, even the assholes. Of course I stole stuff from them.
You steal the stuff they're good at.
Correct. So, I mean, every single person I came in contact with, I definitely borrowed, but, you steal from everybody.
But it's not really stealing, though. It's just, like, ways that you go about your job, It's, like, little tidbits. But, like, there's also, like, there was a guy when I was coming up that was, like, just shitting on the company, didn't like it. It was like, well, I don't know why you're still doing it. Like, well, like, what the fuck's this guy doing here?
There's a lot of that going on, though. I guess that's everywhere.
But in my mind, I'm like, why are you still here, then, if it's so shitty to be here? Like, come on, man. I'm obviously, like, there's obviously something you like about it. And, like, that's what I always try to take away from it.
I think with radio people that get like that get so I don't know, there's just so like they still want to hang on because I think they ultimately like telling people that they're in radio.
Yeah.
Okay, so they like that part of it, but you're right. If they're crapping on everything nonstop, it can't be that good to be in radio.
Right.
Like, go sell cars.
I mean, I don't have another skill set, so that's really like I really don't know what else I would do. I'm not a great salesman. I'm not smart. I'm not.
How often does it come up about the car, the engine? That's my favorite story. How often does it come up on the podcast? Because I bring it up on the radio.
On the podcast, it has not come up in a while.
Ever?
I mean, no, it did. Like that, we do a segment we're gonna do here in a little while called "Not Cool." I think you did that last time you were on.
Okay.
Where it's just like whatever happened, it's not cool, and that was definitely a huge not cool. It could be like you stubbed your toe, or it could be you put water in your car's engine, thinking that you were putting it in a radiator. And
when's the last time you said that out loud?
Fuck. I think it was on the morning show.
I bring it up. But I do bring that up.
But like anytime that like anybody like. It was when I went to go get my oil changed most recently, and so I put the water in the engine, it fucked up. Like I was like, okay, and my dad's on the phone, he's not looking at what I'm doing, and I was like, yeah, I'm pouring it into the radiator. He's like, okay, all right, well then just go turn the car on. And I was like, okay.
Alex is pouring it right directly into
the engine. I poured gallons of water into my
engine where the oil goes.
Right.
You undid the oil cap and put water in there.
Well, it looked like I was looking. So I looked at a YouTube video, and the YouTube video it was a Focus, but it was not the same Focus that I have. I have a Ford Focus, and it was like in a different location where it was. And I was like, okay, well that's right where it is. Okay, that's perfect. Damn it. Okay, it looks a little different, but it's the same.
So this whole thing came up as he was saying he doesn't have a lot of other skills. Nor do I. I don't.
I'm not going to be a mechanic. I'll tell you that much.
I wouldn't be a mechanic either. I couldn't.
But when I got my oil changed the last time, they were like, so I like that it crapped out my engine. I could either buy a new car or a new engine, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna buy a new engine. I don't want to buy. I had just got like the car had just gotten paid off, and like once you pay off a car and you don't have that note every single month, you're like, okay, well,
it's the best feeling
obviously,
in the world.
Like I'm not gonna do that again. I'm not gonna just restart that. So I'll just get a new engine. Whatever, it can't be that bad. So I bought a brand new engine. I had to pay a bunch for it, but like it was cheaper than a new car.
Right.
And so it's a Ford Focus engine, but it's a newer model Ford Focus engine. It still works in mine, and so like it's a little bit different than like the factory one that would have been put in. And they're like, "Hey, what is this? This gasket's not even attached." And they're like, "Is this the original engine?" And I was like, "No." And he was like, "So like, why did you replace it?" And I was like, "Well, I thought that my engine was.
You can get out of that
radiator,
easier.
but like the look that guy gave me, like he didn't say like you're a dumbass, but like his eyes, like he lost all respect for me as a man, as a person, and he was just like this fucking idiot.
As he should.
Like he didn't say it, and I appreciate him not saying that to my face, but I saw in his eyes he was just like it was like he was my father, just like my son is just not going to be what I wanted him to be.
Well, we're all letdowns to our parents, so, I mean, that's for sure. That's for sure. But I know when talking to your dad, though, and your mom, of course, I've talked to, but, boy, your dad is just, like, beaming. Your mom would beam anything that you do.
Right,
okay?
right.
If you were, whatever, if you just clean the pool here, your mom would be beaming
She'd
about
think
it.
I was the best pool cleaner.
And bragging about it to everybody. But your dad really does beam a little bit over you.
No,
It's
and
fun.
they're both awesome, and I'm very lucky to have been raised by people like that. Because there's a lot of people that like they're like, "What are you doing? You're not doing radio. Go be a lawyer. Go do this. Go get into sales." And like they were like that's not what we wanted to do. But if that's what makes you happy, like we believe in you, we trust you, we think you can make whatever you want out of yourself. And
Your mom's flat out thanked me.
really though, but really
she was
though.
worried about you. She
Like-
was worried about you, and I don't know what kind of kid you were growing up.
I was an asshole.
I can imagine you were a handful.
I was.
But she's
the most patient person in the entire world, and that's why she's the best teacher in the world, because she had to deal with me.
she alluded to the fact that you might have been difficult, and they were
It was definitely difficult.
and they were a little worried about you. So for her to like, with all sincerity, to thank me.
Thank you for taking him out of that life, that grind he was in.
I'm like, Jesus Christ, what did this
What
guy
did
do
he-
to you? What did he do that you're thanking me?
I was just like the worst. I was the like classic like my parents don't get it. They just don't understand, Mom, Dad. You don't understand what I want to do. You're not cool.
Have they been on your podcast?
They have not been on it themselves, but they've been to a podcast, which is like, this is like, my mom doesn't like me cussing. My mom doesn't like any of that stuff.
Right.
And they went out to our 300th episode and like watched it like live. And I was like,
Oh,
sorry, I'm
God.
fucking cussing, Mom. But like, that's like, it's not their cup of tea. That's what's cool about them. And I wish that like more people had parents like that
Sure.
like just would support them blindly. Like whether or not it's like, all right, well, he says cunt a lot on this show and we're just going to be like, yeah, cool. Go ahead with it, man.
I think, like, I mean, I got to figure this stuff out because I've got a kid now. So I got to kind of figure out, is she going to be a creative? Is she going to be more analytical? I mean, who knows?
And they never tried to steer me in any direction. They just kind of let me do it. And if I needed help, they'd help me with stuff.
Right.
But like, I don't know. They were like, I was such a dick to them, and they were the best parents. I don't know why. Like, I hate my younger self all the time. But I'm like, why weren't you just cool with them?
Dinah would tell you all the time, every time that your mom would bring us treats into the office or the stations, like, you don't deserve your parents, Alex, and you just, at least you're honest enough. You say, you're right.
No, I don't.
You're right.
I don't. I don't at all deserve them.
Was Will cool?
Will was cool, but like, I was also so like obnoxious and loud and bad that, like, pretty much anything Will did, as long as he didn't stab somebody, was like, Will's cool. Like all the bar.
Because he seems chill.
I set the bar pretty low, I guess you could say.
Okay.
So it's like, okay, well, he's better behaved than Alex.
Good for him.
He's not getting in trouble. He's got better grades. He's bigger, stronger, more athletic than Alex. He's better at sports than Alex. Like, he was better than me at most of the things in life.
How old are you? Because you're beating up Will when you're a little kid, right?
Not really. We didn't really fight though. Like,
You didn't like beat him up though? Like,
No.
Like wrestle, you were stronger than him.
I was stronger. Like, my brother was stronger than me in high school.
Okay, but like, so when you're in junior high, you still like able to like dominate. I mean, because
A little bit, yeah.
How many years difference?
We're 2.5.
Okay, so my younger brother's 3 years difference. And I mean, we fought, but I mean, we fought.
Right.
And I always
we
knew
would
it's
like wrestle and stuff. Yeah.
Correct, but it's like I didn't lose when we were just playing wrestling. I never lost. I'm like, I'm never going to lose to this guy. And then he shot up. I'm 6 feet. He's like 6'3". And I'm like, I don't care. I'm never losing.
I remember like when Will was bigger than me. I was like, yeah, all right,
You're done.
I'm probably not gonna make this. I'm like a small, skinny. He's an offensive lineman on the football team. I was like, all right, he's gonna get me in these situations. So, but like he played rugby, and a lot of my friends, like my closest friends in high school, were rugby players. So like we kind of had the same like overlap of friends. So
Yeah.
like we were just kind of like friends / brothers at that point in time, and like we didn't really like argue with each other. We just kind of got along.
Oh, my brother and I fought.
We had disagreements, but there was never it wasn't physical after high school.
Yeah, I had a pen stuck in my leg.
Oh yeah, I remember that story.
Yeah, it's cool. It's just like a ball.
You still got the mark, right?
Yeah, I got a pen. Yeah,
it's like a tattoo.
Stabbed me with a pen.
Your first tattoo.
It was a little wild. It was a little wild growing up with those guys. But yeah, your parents though, I enjoy talking to them, and I don't need to be thanked. I enjoy talking to them, knowing that how happy they are in the path that you've taken. So even from the podcast to the show, I mean, they love this as much as they love you being on the show.
This was me fucking around. This was me.
But
because
they love it.
They just like that. I think they just like that. I stuck with something, and they were I think they were worried. Is he just gonna be that guy that just wanders through everything?
They love that you're not in a ditch.
Yeah, that's really what it is. I think
doing crack.
Right. I'm not a big crack guy. Definitely not a crack guy.
Not anymore.
I'm just strictly meth and heroin. No, but yeah, you didn't even have a child the last time we did the podcast.
No.
You got
wife,
responsibilities. Right? Now you did have a wife.
I had a dog.
You got married 2016?
2016?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to look at my ring. I know it's
It was in April?
April 30th. It's April 30th, 2016. Yeah. I got it just life hack.
That's a really good life hack.
I took my my wedding ring off and I had it engaged on the inside just in case.
Super smart.
Just in case, but it was 2016. We both had it right before I double checked.
I remember that you got married in April because you married April. So I'm like, oh, April in April. That's how I'm always like, okay.
How many people have asked me that? Well, did you get married in April because her name's April? Shut up.
But was that ever in the discussion? Was she I kind of want to get married in April?
I'm trying to think how
it'd be cool.
That. It had to do with the hall. Once you start wanting to get married, and then you pick a place, right? But I'm just saying, anybody. Once you want to get married, and then you figure out where you want to get married, all of a sudden that place dictates when you're getting married,
right?
Because the hall or whatever it is that you're going to rent, if you in fact are going to rent something, they start handing you, and you start realizing this place is telling me when I'm getting married, and that's what you do if you want to use their place. And we knew that the place that we wanted to use in the French Quarter was super awesome. They go, okay, you can get married here. I was told by a hall when I could get married. It's really weird.
Your wedding was dope, though.
It was fun.
Your wedding was.
It was a party. We just wanted a party.
It really was. I don't remember the reception, a lot of it, but I have pictures on my refrigerator of us in the photo booth, and I was I don't even remember taking those photos.
Well,
I had a
bar.
Sweet hat on though.
Open bar is key.
Which is the way to go.
You gotta pay for open bar. You have to.
Right.
Your friends, for me...
you get judged. And it's is it right to judge somebody for, cutting some costs? No, it's not right to judge them. But, you're going to get judged regardless if you have, not an open bar.
And then I just said, listen, I will be crucified with the assholes that are coming. If we run out of anything, I'll never hear the end of it. So you have to buy all that stuff.
Yeah.
You have to pay for everything up front. There's no if you need another bottle, just go ahead and grab one.
They don't just have it hanging out.
You have to kind of plan. So you're thinking about how much are these idiots going to drink? And we got married in New Orleans, so everybody's cranked up extra. Everyone's extra in New Orleans.
Yeah.
So
you're on a vacation and a wedding at that point.
Yeah. So we got married, and I knew that everybody was making a weekend of it.
And we didn't go to. We had 2 weeks off after that, so we just went balls to the wall.
Yeah. So you gotta do open bar. You have to not run out of anything, and then we took drinks on the road with us and stuff. Do you remember being?
So you had to buy the plastic cups. Because I remember we all had to pour. Because in New Orleans, you can't have the glass cups.
Yeah, we had the wedding cups made up with the lyrics from Everlong on there, and everybody got a cup. And then we took to-go cups. Do you remember being in the second line?
I do remember being in the second line parade. I vaguely.
It was fun, dude. You should remember that.
It was tight. I just remember because y'all had the umbrellas.
Yes.
It was cool, and everybody's staring at you guys. That was the cool part.
Mark made the sticks. We had everybody had the drumsticks, so everybody's rhythm with the band and stuff. Yeah, it was great. I mean, we talk about weddings, and I don't do this on purpose.
I know you don't.
It does come up because it's such a topic. People that they're
spending $4 billion on weddings
between your
an average.
age and my age, it's a talking point. So it's here's another thing that came out about weddings. Here's what people are spending. Here's what people are doing. So the wedding talk comes up from time to time, and of course, Kim Middleton sends me an email all the time if I bring it up. But we talk a lot about how people say they regret their wedding, and I don't know if it's because we got married when we were older. I think April would answer the same way. We don't regret anything. I spent a shit ton of money on it. It was expensive. It was expensive. But again, we're a little bit older, so I had money put aside for it. I didn't think that it was going to be cheap. I didn't really want to cut corners. I waited this long to get married. I know people that are married twice now at my age. So I'm like, I'm going to do it one time. All the money I saved on my first 2 marriages that never happened.
Can you imagine, though, like paying for 2 weddings?
No.
Or 3?
You just don't do big ones then. I mean, you can't
You just go Vegas, like, that's it.
Yeah, you can't do like a huge, not like that. Like, there's no way. There's no way you could do a couple
But there
of
are
those.
people that do that, and you're like, how?
Yeah, like millionaires, as you would say.
I'm not a millionaire. Look at me, the millionaire goes to see doctors.
A millionaire. I had 3 huge weddings. But no, it was super fun. I don't regret any of it, though.
That's good, though. That's good, because like there's very few people that would say they don't regret anything that they did at their wedding. So
almost everybody I talk to when it comes to a wedding, like, what would you do differently? I don't know what it is, and I think my wife would say the same thing. I can't think of one single thing that we would do differently. Although, you know what? I need to take a second here. You know who I didn't invite? Jeremy.
I remember you
felt
saying that.
so bad. Oh my God, I wanted to kill myself.
Shout out Jeremy Benson.
Jeremy Benson.
We love you, buddy.
I came back from my honeymoon and I saw him in the kitchen and I'm like, dude, I thought about you, man. I was in Rome and I'm like, oh my God, I didn't invite Jeremy. It's such a stressful thing. You don't invite every single person that you work with. You don't. You just don't invite every single person. Then you got to be that weirdo that now you're starting to like hand pick who you're inviting and who you're not.
It's like the cool kids club.
It's a weird thing, man. It's super weird because people are talking about it.
And you're also having to pay for each person that you're inviting and their date as well, which is like, like fuck this guy, I don't like that. And it's like, I'm not saying you did that to Jeremy, but I did.
I'm a dick.
But you didn't do it on purpose to Jeremy. But it's like
no. April loves Jeremy. Jeremy was one of our superstar interns. It's amazing how many people came through that show. I
had a class at Sam Houston with Jeremy for a summer one time.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And he was an intern at the Buzz at that point in time. I was like, that guy works in the same building as me. I've never seen him. And then now we work together at the same station, which is
cock of the walk. He's walking around. Yeah, I'm on the Rod Ryan show. No big deal. I'm Jeremy. You might hear me.
But he's like the sweetest kid in the entire world.
Ever.
And anything he's ever doing, he works his ass off all the time. Jeremy works like 50 hours a week.
Does it with a smile on his face.
He cuts a lot. He cuts almost all the commercials and stuff. And if he's not voicing it, he's recording it from other people. Like whoever comes in the studio, he's recording all that and loading it. And you walk in, you're like, Jeremy, this broke. I don't know how to fix this. He's like, well, hold on. Yeah, okay. Let me figure it out. We'll get it done. And then he takes 45 minutes out of his time, which is going to hold him back and make him stay later. And he's like, oh, that's not a big deal at all,
man. And he's adapted. I imagine when Jeremy, and I know this because he started out as an intern on the Rod Ryan show. I know that he wanted to be on the air. Now I don't know where his head's at right now because I think he's doing really good at what he's doing. And your plans change over time. If you didn't. Like we said, everybody wants to be on the air.
Right.
But there's other jobs that need to be done, and you need to be really good at it. I think he's comfortable in doing what he's doing. I think he likes it. I think there's probably still in the back of his head, hey, I still would like, because he does weekends, and he does some on-air stuff. He's doing overnights, right?
Yeah.
So I know he's still, he's got
his overnights, he does weekends as well.
Right. So he's in the game. I don't know that he wants to walk away from that and do a morning show or, if he wants to start off somewhere really, really small. I think he likes it here, and I think he's adapted really well.
He was,
which is smart.
Yeah. He was one of the people that I remember. He used to come up and he'd work every Saturday night. He didn't have to, but he would just get stuff done on Saturday nights when I was up there.
Yep.
And I remember one time I was working the Outlaw Dave show on KPRC, and I know a lot of people have no idea what I'm talking about, but still, I was working a night shift show at 8 p.m. and Jeremy was up there, hey, there's an opening for the morning show. Are you gonna apply for that? He's like, I don't know, man. I don't really know if that's for me right now. And I was like, could you throw my name in there? Maybe say this Alex guy's pretty cool. I was like, yeah, definitely, dude. And he was like, Rod's the coolest guy, dude. Rod's the coolest guy. Just own up to your bullshit. Own up to your bullshit. Right. That's all he does. And I was like, okay. And that was the most accurate description of Rod Ryan ever. Just own up to your bullshit. You don't get mad. You're just okay. And if you fuck up, I'm just that's on me, dude. I don't care. I don't try and push blame. And you can just tell you're not as long as you're not trying to push blame on somebody else, you're cool. And there's not a lot of people like that.
There's not a lot of people that want to, Everybody screws up. I mess up every single day.
The restaurant, in the interview you gave me, the restaurant mentality where we get in the weeds, but
oh my God,
at the end of the day, everybody goes out and drinks.
I had to tell that story to every single person when I was interviewing for Dinah's job, where we ultimately got Tessa. I would always ask them if they worked in a restaurant. And I can't hold it against them if they didn't.
Right.
But there's something that if you did work in a restaurant, Alex has heard this story ad nauseum, but I would talk about how the cooks, there's the front of the house and the back of the house. The front of the house are the waitresses and the anybody that's interacting with the customers. Mm-hmm. The back of the house is the cooks. And all the dishwashers, those are the people, the grunts. Right. That's the grunts. That's your O-line. Uh-huh. You know what I mean? Those are the grunts. And you get busy. And I would tell this to all the people that were interviewing for the job. I said, here's what's missing right now. I said, everybody gets butthurt because at a restaurant, when it was super busy, you'd have the kitchen screaming and you'd have the waitresses screaming at the cooks. I need this right now. This is cold. Blah, 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 blah. Everybody is screaming, but you're all in it together.
Right.
And you're probably young too, okay? You're younger, and the chick that's screaming at you probably want to have sex with her afterwards because, she's like a waitress.
Yeah,
so she's cool and she's got money. So all the cooks wanted to bang the waitresses. So
I only want to bang chicks that have money. That's my preference.
But when you're a cook, you got a shot. When you're the dishwasher, you got no shot.
Uh-huh.
You could be the hottest. Zac Efron could be washing dishes. He wasn't getting any action. The cooks had the first choice. So, but everybody would be screaming at everybody, and then we go out and drink afterwards.
Right.
And it's just like, man, it got crazy in there today, huh? Yeah, let's have a beer. And you would just get wasted with one another, and you'd go and do it again. Now everybody gets so butthurt. It's like, wait a minute, you're in
so-and-so doesn't like me.
You're in the weeds and like you're mad, and it's like, okay, the show's over, but we just got through this busy thing, and it's like, okay, let's all hang out now.
Yeah.
And not everybody can do that, and I tried to explain that to people and during the interview process, and some got it, some acted like they got it, and I could tell they didn't. But it was a weird thing going through all these interviews.
It's like we're just never really yelling on our ends at all.
No.
Like it's like, hey, I need this drop here. I need this piece of audio right here. Hey, we need to get a caller on this. We need a winner right here. And it's like it's never like, what the fuck? Like I don't. But there's people in other shows where you're like, they don't fucking get that because they don't ever do that. And then like we go to BuzzFest, we all hang out, we're all partying, we're all chilling. We get the work done first, and then we party hard. And that's what when Tessa came on and we went out and we drank like the weekend before she started. It was like, she's fucking cool as shit. Like she's gonna fit in okay.
That girl can party. I mean, she can party. So I kind of knew like when we were all out, I had the same feeling about her the first time I talked to her on the phone, and then when I don't know how much she talked about how she got the job, but Dinah gave me 2 months. She gave us 2 months.
Right.
She said, guys, I'm gone, but I'm going to give you 2 months. So it's, she gave us all the show 2 months, but now it's on me. Like, oh, damn. So me, Radio Wizard, and we got to get an ad, and my company moves really, really slow. And I couldn't find anybody. I mean, like there was people that I interviewed were really, really good, and, they were cool.
It's got to be a good fit though.
It does. And it's not that people that I talked to were a bad fit. It's just I wasn't having that instant. I talk about looking at homes or looking at apartments, and if you look at 10 houses and then you walk into that 11th one, you're just like, something about it is like feels like home.
Right.
And it feels right. It feels comfortable. So Dinah Tessa's situation is similar to Dinah's, where Tessa did apply for the job. Mm-hmm. And I didn't know that. But there was also probably 600 people that applied. So some of this stuff was, Radio Wizard's going through it. And I'm not throwing Wizard under the bus, but her stuff came across, she was very newsy, and it just looked like, okay, this is just another girl that does news. And, we'll get to this later. So she didn't make it into that, like, let's take a look at this seriously pile. That's Dinah's story. Dinah wasn't in the good pile. Uh-huh. Dinah was in the pile where it's like, this is okay. And everybody knows Ralphie May called me up and said, what do you know about this? Have you heard Dinah's stuff yet? And I said, well, I mean, look, and Ralphie called me on my cell, and I looked. I said, well, she's in the okay pile. He goes, put her in take a good look at this pile. Take a good look at this pile. And I said, well, Ralphie, I trust you, so I did. Yeah. And then ultimately Dinah got the job. So when we talk, you ever hear anybody say it's not, how good you are, it's who you know. There's a little bit of both involved there, but the radio station is an iHeart station that Tessa was working at.
Right.
And a big boss over there called our big boss, Radio Wizard's boss, Mark Sherman. And the way the guy phrased it was, listen, I'd hate to lose this employee, but she did apply. She's a Texas gal, and I think she'd be perfect for this job. So it trickled down from Sherman to Wizard to me, and he's like, hey, take a look. You know, they're giving her some high marks. If that phone call doesn't come in,
right,
I don't think I see Tessa's stuff.
But that's one of the craziest things when you just look back at like little tiny things. Like y'all hired somebody when I applied, and then like that dude just quit, like didn't want to do it anymore. And I was like, what? Like I remember being like, there's no way this is a glitch that it's still available again. And I remember being like, I emailed you and our boss Radio Wizard, and it was like, guys, fucking like hook me up, like let's go, give me a shot.
Yeah. So
and it's like little things like that can change it. And
everybody knows that story about you.
Yeah.
So yeah, like Alex applied for the job.
You had an intern that was better, like that was already more suited for the show at that point?
Because he was already there. So like you said, like he was already he knew the system. He was already doing some of the web stuff, which is going to be a part of it. He knew sports. He was this superstar intern. And, you know, kind of like later how I found out about you, like he's like, Rod, I grew up listening to this show. And then, you know, I hire him and it's going well. And then he just kind of walks in one day and says, I can't do this. And I mean, maybe my head's so far either up my ass or in the clouds, but like when I offer somebody a job, I feel like I'm giving somebody a golden ticket. That's just how I feel.
I feel that way.
But I feel that way. And I don't need to even hear it from anyone. I don't need it to be backed up by anyone. When I offer somebody a job, I feel like I'm offering you a golden ticket. Not that I'm so great to work with. It's this position and the situation that we're in, the radio station being so successful. I'm just,
right.
You are fast-tracked to the most high-profile, you know, countrywide. You know,
exactly.
I mean, the buzz is recognized nationally, and this I'm not blowing smoke. But he came to me, and it was something that was on our website. I think it was the pre-Labor Day pregnant bikini contest. This is the guy that said he grew up listening to the show, and it was already at that point, the 9th annual? So
yeah, something like that.
It was something that his pastor got to him. He came to me, and I probably didn't handle this all that well. I still think about it, but I got called into my boss's office, and he was sitting in there, and he said, listen, I can't do this job. And I got up and walked out of the room, and I haven't talked to him since.
Oh, wow.
I'm not proud of that.
I didn't mean to bring that up.
No. I haven't. I was so mad. Like, I gave you this amazing opportunity.
Well, but when you bring it almost like the morning show feels like a family to me. It does feel like a family. So it's almost like a family member would just be like, hey, peace out. What's up? Like,
yeah.
You know? Yeah. And I can understand that feeling.
Especially a starting job like that. If it's somebody that's like been in the business, I'm trying to think like, you know, I can't even come up with another comparison, but it was giving him his first shot, like coming out of college radio and doing real radio.
Right.
And I you know, I'm somebody that had to like come up market size, you know, and I had to start in smaller markets, you know, Buffalo, which was a great market to start in. It was the best market to learn in. But then I went to New Orleans, which was a little bigger, and then making my way to Houston. You know, these guys that like have worked their way up, they always have a little bit of a chip on their shoulder. You're almost like, you know, Tom Brady getting drafted in the 6th round or something. Like, I didn't just start in Houston. So when I give somebody a job to start in Houston, it's like, man, that's how I think that's how I feel about it. Like, I would have killed. I can't even imagine my first job being in Houston. So he said that he wasn't going to do it, or he couldn't do it anymore. I don't know if his pastor got to him or something. I can't remember. But I got up and walked out of the room. I got up and walked out of the room, and I said, let's just start looking for another one. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to think about it. I don't know what happened after that, if he had to get – because, you know, when you get let go or you quit, you kind of get escorted out of the building. I don't know what happened. I just know that I got up and walked out. You didn't know that?
I did not know that. Yeah. I didn't know that at all.
It's probably a dick move, but I couldn't understand when – they told me that they had a real good understanding of the show, and they interned for a long time. So, like, quote unquote,
you got to be pretty familiar with it at that point. You
shenanigans would think. And whatever it is that we do, like, I can't imagine like somebody got to them. Somebody got to him that just said, hey, here's your picture, and here's a picture of a pregnant bikini chick, and it's like, that's not a good look for you. And somebody got in his head, and he respected that person, and he just said, hey, I can't do this. And I said, well, I guess I didn't say anything.
Well, honestly, super stoked that happened.
Well,
because...
then we had to start looking again. So we had to start looking again. So I'm dropping all these bombs on you. So we start the interview process all over again. So we interview you, and there was a couple of other dudes. And this isn't throwing anybody under the bus, but not everybody was sold on you. I'll say that.
Oh, believe me, people still aren't sold on me.
But not everybody that I do like to kind of, it's not a dictatorship as maybe some people would have you think. So I do like to take some outside influence because I appreciate everybody that's on the show. So Dinah, we all got to work with this person, Same thing with Tessa. We all got to work with this person. So when it came down to hiring your position, I'll just say that you weren't everybody's choice. And I just said, what sold me on you the second time around was you told me a story about doing stand-up.
Yeah.
And you said that you did stand-up a couple of times. And I said, well, tell me about it. Because when you interview people, you just want them to talk.
Right.
So I said, well, tell me about doing stand-up. And I said, was this something that you've always wanted to do? You're like, well, no, not really. And you told me that you did it because you were terrified of it.
Yeah.
You told me, you go, I did it because I'm terrified of it. And like my ears picked up when I heard that. And I said, that's awesome. Like, that's amazing that somebody would face like one of their biggest fears. Because I know how you feel about stand-up comedians. And I know that that's a huge thing. It's a huge love of yours. So I didn't think that like you're going to leave me to go and do stand-up. But the fact that you did that and you threw yourself out there, that was probably the most important thing that got you the job. I just thought that was
wow. I'm glad I said it then.
I thought that was so amazing because people think, oh, you're going to get up on stage. That's no big deal. It's terrifying.
Oh yeah, and then you forget everything you were going to say,
It's
and then
terrifying.
you just got to kind of fuck around until you can figure it out. That's why people suck when they start because you get nervous, you forget everything, and like I always wanted to put myself in the perspective like how do those people feel? Like they're doing like a special. Bill Burr's up there doing a special right now in Madison Square Garden. How am I like? If he can do that, like I can try at least. And I don't know, like, but if you're not afraid of stuff that you're doing, then you're not doing like if you're comfortable with everything you do, then that's not the right spot to be in. You got to be a little uncomfortable in certain situations where you take yourself out of your comfort zone. And like I don't know, I always thought like that was one of them where it's like I'm not gonna be good at it, but like you gotta try it just to say you did it.
And I think it was the trying it and getting up on stage and trying something different because with radio. Sometimes you get, and you I know you've met people like this, but there's people that like are always concerned with like looking cool, and you don't show your vulnerability. And I thought that showed such incredible vulnerability. There's no way you looked cool on stage.
No,
there's no way you
no.
sounded cool, but you did it. So So if I hand you a script for Pumpkin Spice Price is Right, you're not worried about sounding like an idiot. Which you own it, and that was the most important thing that you said in your interview. It was doing that stand-up because somebody that just constantly wants to look cool, it's just, you can't work with that because you're not going to get real emotion out of them. You're not going to be able to draw stuff out of them because they're constantly, you always want to sound good, but it's okay if the joke's on you once in a while. And even me as the host, if I make a mistake, if I screw up somebody's name, I sound silly, I don't know something, it's just like, okay, then you guys get a chance to jab at me now. You just can't constantly always try to be that cool guy.
That's like Tessa and I were talking about this last week actually, where I was like, nobody can ever be as mean to me as I can be as mean to me. Like I am meaner to myself than anybody could ever be. So any hate you spew at me, I've already said it to myself.
Right.
I've already said all that stuff. I don't care. You can't touch me at this point. Like I'll get mad at you over dumb stuff, but like nothing you're gonna say is gonna hurt me because I've already said it to myself.
But you're like an artist, you're like a creator, and deep down inside, we all want to be accepted. Okay, You can put up the toughest front ever, and I've been doing this a long, long time. My wife, this drives her. It makes her nuts because I could read 100 emails and they're like, Rod, you're the best, you're the best, you're the best. And I'm not soliciting for that. I don't need that. But
if you want to send it, rod@thebuzz.com.
But I appreciate the nice things that people say. It's all, who doesn't like to hear
right
that what you're doing, somebody is appreciative of. Of course, that makes your day. It's weird when people will come up to me and they'll say, oh, well, I'm sure you hear this all the time, but I listen to the show and I love it. You're making it sound like it's a burden for me to hear that. That's like the greatest thing ever. And that's no bullshit. Like, that really is such an awesome thing. I mean, you appreciate what it is that we're throwing ourselves out there. We're 4 idiots turning on microphones. We're not in front of an audience, so we're only getting feedback from one another. And you're telling me that you are appreciating what we do. Don't ever think for a second, oh, I guess you probably get this all the time, but it's amazing.
If you want to tell me I'm awesome, I'm always down to hear that.
But deep down inside, we all want to be accepted. And back to what my wife, it'll drive her crazy. I could get 200 emails and love, love, love the show. And then some guy, sends you an email and he just lights you up. He's like, man, you this, that, and the other thing. And, and people like really, they don't think that like we have any feelings at all, especially on social media. And she can't believe that one email can negate 200 awesome ones.
That's all you think about, though. That's the one you think about.
But all these people just said you were great. And then this, why would that bother you? And I'm like, I mean, I don't kick and scream and start crying about it, but it does still affect us. I mean, I don't know what it is that people think that. I don't know that they think we read our social media.
I think that's part of it.
And
because like a lot of times, like if you respond to anything anybody says, like, dude, love the show, you're awesome, like blah 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 blah, I just didn't agree with this. You're like, okay, that's like, I don't care that you disagree with me. And they're like, I just think like when they see like so and so replies to them, they're like, oh crap, okay, my bad.
Yeah, they'll say something like, Rod, you really sucked today, and that was a stupid thing you said. And I'm just like, well, yeah, maybe I didn't have my best day. It's like, oh no, dude, brother Rod, I love the show, man. I just like, I like, it was like catching them. And I don't ever. I try not to kick people off our social media. I really want people to talk and be open and free about it. But I know that people type things thinking that we're never going to see it.
Exactly.
And then when Dinah really had it rough, man. People would say some nasty things about Dinah. I know you would see it too. Some stuff I would have to erase. I'm not living like this. I'm not, I'm not going to
When it's just straight up hate.
I'm not going to have my name on it.
When it's straight up hate, I don't, like, that's not there. Like, I understand a critique or anything like that. That makes sense. But
I would be embarrassed if somebody saw it and then, like, why would Rod allow this?
Right.
So that was my approach when I would see stuff like that. If somebody went onto our account that knew who we were, but saw something, and I'm assuming that if my name's on it, people are oh my God, Rod's approving of every single thing. Now, I can't approve 600 comments on an Instagram post. I can't look at everything.
On each Instagram post
Nor do I. But if I see something, my first thought is, well, Rod must have seen this and he's allowing it. That's my determiner if I'm going to get rid of something, And Dinah had it rough, man. I mean, I would see stuff, and every now and then I would click on somebody's profile, like, who's saying this shit? Like, who would say that, And then I see him and his
loving husband and
two
father.
Daughters. I see him and his 2 daughters, and I listen. I don't have time to light people up, nor would I. But I go and I look and I see he's there and he's got these 2 beautiful daughters, and I'm like, you're saying this about a girl,
about somebody's daughter,
Dinah. It's a girl, How? What? You have 2 daughters. That really does. Anyone that says a kid doesn't change you, it does. Good, bad, and different.
Yeah.
Of course, you're seeing the world through a different lens. You are 100% seeing it differently. I couldn't believe how many times I saw an idiot say something and then go look at their page, and I'm like, you got to be kidding me. How? How did having a daughter not change you?
Right.
How?
And I think it is the fact that they think that like one, it's like they don't think that you're like a real person almost. But they're like, no, they're not gonna read it, and it's like, okay, well, I can say whatever I want because I'm gonna look cool online.
Yeah.
But like if they get called out on it, they almost always apologize because like, oh shit, I didn't know that you saw that.
Right, and it's not even calling out. It's just like, hey, dude, man, this is a little harsh. And then they're like, usually, no, man. I mean, it's really easy. Some people get fired up, and people they email angry and they post angry and they get fired up about things. And then I really do try to take the time to respond to everybody. and it's just impossible. I just absolutely can't. Email's probably the busiest part of my day is just trying to go through emails.
But you're one of the only like radio hosts I've ever known that goes through every single email. You literally look at all of your emails, and there's a lot of people that they either have somebody that goes through their stuff, or they just delete. Like you read it all, you see it all,
yeah.
and like
I gotta get one of those guys.
Yeah,
I gotta get one of those
filter
guys
out. Just show me the good stuff. Show me the good stuff.
That's how you kind of, you know what? It's all a part of taking the temperature, and I need a gut check too every now and then.
But like you were saying about like those negative comments are the ones you stay like, because you're always like, what can I do to get better? And that's how I think that like that's what shows that you had a show that's this successful, that's been on the air this long. Because when the one negative comment, I'm like, okay, well, like what is this guy critiquing that I should be better at? Like it kind of changes it up as you're opposed to being like, fuck that guy, I don't care.
Oh yeah, I mean, you got to take a look at it too. Number one, it's gonna, quote unquote, hurt your feelings or whatever, boo-hoo for me. But you also do. It's like, okay, but what is he complaining about? Okay, and
does he have a point there?
Is there something? Maybe he didn't articulate it the right way, but is there something that he said that it's like, hey, wait a minute, maybe a tweak can be made. Now, if they're just, they're picking on my cargo shorts or something. Hey, listen, you won. I don't wear cargo shorts anymore. I got shamed.
Well, not like, but like, what about all your cargo? Where do you carry your cargo now?
It sucks.
Fanny packs. That should be the right answer.
I'm not doing it.
Fanny packs.
I'm not doing the fanny packs.
I think you should try it.
It's not a thing. Stop trying to make it.
It might be.
So I got shamed during Tessa's interview. One of the questions was, "Who's the worst dressed in this room?"
Who said you?
You did. Rod said me. Because I was wearing shorts.
Because you were in the room. It was in the room.
You made him buy. He bought jeans.
I got jeans.
You said you didn't want to see his kneecaps.
I was hoping I'd see you that day so I can tell you that you shamed me into wearing. No, today I made sure.
Why am I looking at your kneecaps right now,
today
Bobby?
Today I made sure
this is a
that
podcast.
you could see
Totally.
kneecaps for days.
Totally.
Kneecaps for days.
He's never stopped thinking about it.
Who else was the worst dressed in that room?
That's true. That's true.
There was 3 people in the room with me.
Right. So then, like, in that point, I don't think he's in the wrong then.
In all respect, Marvin was dressed a little nicer than you.
Marvin was dressed very nice.
Marvin dresses pretty nice.
He's a very nice dressed
fella. So it was you, Tessa, and Marvin.
And it doesn't mean you weren't dressed nice. It was just the least nicely dressed.
Yes.
You know?
I still feel hurt.
You got good-looking knees, bro.
Great knees.
I know.
You got great
those
knees.
Those caps looking great.
Anybody would be happy to have those knees, Bobby Jokes.
All right, what have you been up to, Rod?
What have I been up to?
You can start from May of 2017, or you can start in the last week.
Well, yeah.
It's all up to you.
Babies, having babies, working all the time, working
Congrats
too much.
on the sex.
Yeah, thank you. I moved to the Heights. That's where I've been.
Yeah.
I started
dude, your new pad is sweet, dude.
It's pretty cool, huh?
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
I just want can you just invite me over and let me watch football on Sundays, just like in that like little like outside by the pool?
Yeah.
Like that's the most chill spot ever.
It's super chill, and now with the weather,
oh yeah,
it's so badass. But
get a little cold front coming in again.
Yeah, I moved to the Heights. I'm the weirdo that had a kid. I already lived in the suburbs. I had a kid, moved from the suburbs into the city.
But I liked your reasoning because you said that you wanted your daughter to grow up with like people that like she knew, like neighbors and stuff like that. Because I remember growing up and like you were talking about like when you grew up, you had like, oh, down the street it's Ryan Witt and Chaz Schaefer and Richard Bibb and all of them. It's like, oh, I'm gonna run to your house and we can ride our bikes around and do this. And it's like, that's awesome that like, and she's also gonna be in the fucking heart of like Houston, which is awesome.
It's crazy to me. So, and we can walk her to school.
That's cool.
And I want some of that stuff. Like it's gotta feel like the thing about the Heights, depending on what area you're in. I realize there's different areas, but in the area that we're in, there's a ton of people out. Like the other day when we had our first cold front, not Saturday. Saturday was amazing. But when we had the first one, I think it was Tuesday.
Yeah.
And I'm like, we're going for a walk. Family walk. Let's go. We're all going, So get the dog, get the kid, get the wife. And we couldn't take 20 steps without running into somebody and talking to somebody. And it just had such a community feel to it. And like everybody's like, coming out of their houses from the summer. It's the complete opposite of Buffalo, where everybody's coming out of their houses during the thaw.
Right.
It's the complete opposite, but it was so great. And just to see people walking around and being outside, I didn't have that in my neighborhood. I had a great neighborhood. My other house was awesome. It was behind a gate, which I felt very, very safe, especially with my wife. But I
remember
I
going.
just wanted a different lifestyle.
I remember going. It was like a Labor Day party or something. We went to over
Yeah.
at your house, and your neighbor had a boat, and you're like, I have talked to this guy like 4 times. since I've lived here.
Yeah, and I told him, don't come over.
And then your friend hit him with a football.
Yeah.
And you're like, God damn it, we're never going to talk to this guy again.
Because people just didn't party. Like, people out there, it was older people, it was oil and gas. They weren't party oil and gas people. They were just retired oil and gas people. And
that was something that I never thought about until you brought that up. And that's actually a really good point. Like, yeah, that was a huge part of my childhood was like riding your bike over to so-and-so's house and hanging out with your friends. And like your friends are the people you lived in the neighborhood with.
So, this renewed like love of the city.
I'm just throwing beer cans around. That's what I do sometimes.
But this renewed love of the city, and I still had a Houston address,
right?
But I was as far east as you could, or far west as you could be, without being in Katy. And my kid would have gone to Katy schools, which would have been great. The schools were great out there, but
shout out Cinco Ranch.
But just seeing it was the Mustangs, right?
Oh, Taylor.
Okay,
Taylor's a good school.
She would have gone to Taylor. So just seeing the skyline and driving home and being a part of it and going out and walking and just being in the neighborhood, I really do. I have this renewed love of Houston.
That's good.
And that's who we talk to every day. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you do this. I don't. But when I see that skyline, I never think about like, wow, like we're on the radio and people are listening to us in those buildings. I don't think like that.
That's cool.
I don't think like that at all. For me, it's more about the guy in the shop. It's about the welder. It's about Jake the welder. It's about, people that are working in these maybe small shops. But
right.
Like to see this city and to see that skyline every day, man, it's good for my soul.
Yeah.
Like how people talk about believe me, I'd love to be on a beach somewhere or something. But seeing that skyline and knowing that like we are like woven into the fabric of the city, that really means a lot to me. And that was kind of this whole renewed interest. So I've been chilling in the Heights a little bit.
That's what's up.
Super cool.
Yeah. And again, the new pad, sick. And you're like right next to all the cool bars too. So
yeah. So my new hang is this Bobcat Teddy's. Like this,
which is a great name for a bar, anyways.
It's so cool, man. It's like I never knew about this.
Have
bar.
you met the Bobcat Teddy? Like, there's got to be Teddy somewhere, right?
I don't know if there's a Bob. I know that there's a stuffed
Bobcat.
Yeah,
I saw it. You showed me it.
Bar.
Very drunkenly. You're like, look, this is Bobcat right there.
I think that's Bobcat
Teddy.
Teddy.
Like, is that Teddy?
I think that is Bobcat Teddy. I don't know. Yeah, so that's like my new like little dumpy bar. Like
that's pretty awesome.
I mean dumpy in a good way.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've been hanging out doing some of that stuff, and it's been great.
That's cool.
Super
and
awesome.
You can like walk to the bars and stuff now, as opposed to like when you're in a neighborhood, you don't like. It's kind of like we're just at home. This is what we're doing now.
It's so great.
Yeah.
It's absolutely so great to be able to kind of walk, go have a couple of beers. In the time that I do get out. I don't get out that. You make it sound like I drink. I don't. Look at this guy.
Well, you're like a weekend drinker guy.
Weekend guy.
Like not hardcore, but just like every now and then.
Put the kid to bed. And then if we got a sitter or if the wife's, I can go out and have it's amazing.
That's what's up.
It's amazing. I had no walking. You ever see the walking score website? My house had a 0. There's
really?
yeah. There's a website that scores where you live and you have a walking score. My score.
Like where everything that you can go walk to.
Where there's cool stuff. Okay.
Okay.
My walking score was a 0. You couldn't because it was in a neighborhood and it was behind a gate. There was nothing there. There was nothing. I couldn't even go to the corner store, walk to it.
What is it now?
I think it's a 10.
That's badass.
I think I got a walking score of a 10 at my place.
That's awesome.
It's the best.
And it's a great location, too. So
yeah, it's super
that's
cool.
awesome.
I've been in
that's
the Heights,
awesome.
man.
So that's where you been.
Oh, I'm in the Heights now.
Very high up.
Oh, I'm in the Heights.
Yes. Well, let's get into Comeback Kid. We'll do that next. Let me first tell you guys about our official beer sponsor of Past the Gravy. Rod's probably like, Alex, you've had 4 beers already. And
I'm not counting, but I just wish I could have one. They look
delicious.
delicious.
So that is what Rod's holding right now is the Cy Gourd. It's half machine, half pumpkin. It's their first ever pumpkin beer, and it is awesome. I'm not a big pumpkin beer guy, but I'm a big Cy Gourd guy.
Nice.
They got the my favorite beer ever, and I was like this is within a year, is the Strawberry Bombshell Blonde that they came out with for the summer. I think it's going to stick around for a long time. I was a big Bombshell Blonde fan.
Yep.
We call them Bommies on the podcast.
Oh, sure.
So these are Strawberry Bommies, and I could drink these all day.
I see these things everywhere. I see James Simpson talking about it.
It's so good. It's my favorite beer ever. And I'm not lying. I'm not saying it because Southern Star is our sponsor. Like, I would drink Southern Star Bommies and just Strawberry Bommies all day.
Everybody knows how many cases you have here?
I think they've seen some. They've seen some. Yeah, they hook us up. We appreciate Keith and the gang over at Southern Star for hooking us up. Speaking of Southern Star, though, they are going to host our 6th annual Christmas Spooktacular. You know, there's ghosts in Christmas, too. They have Ghosts of Christmas Past. It's not just Halloween that gets the ghosts. We have a Spooktacular every year.
That seems to be conflicting.
Well, no.
You're like mashing together holidays now?
I don't know. We called it a Spooktacular one time, and then like we just stuck with it. And I was like, all right, well, they have ghosts there too. And we're going to have our Christmas Spooktacular out there Friday, December the 20th, 3525 North Fraser Street up in Conroe. It's going to be awesome. We got a band. I don't think I can announce the band just yet, but I will probably within the next week or so be able to say it. You guys are not going to be disappointed. We got the Weekly D podcast on the PTG network. It's going to be opening up for us again. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to seeing all you guys out there in your ugly Christmas sweaters or your beautiful Christmas sweaters if you get the PTG one, PassTheGravyMerch.com. But get you a Southern Star beer while you're listening to the podcast. Send us a picture if you're listening to us while you're drinking a Southern Star. If you're just buying a Southern Star anyways, hit us up at Pass the Gravy Pod. Tag Southern Star as well at Southern Star BC. There's something for everybody at Southern Star. If you're a Mexican lager kind of person, we got the Echo in Conroe. They have the Kolsch. If you're an IPA guy, they got the Conspiracy Theory. They got the Subatomico Juicy IPA if you want a juicy kind of IPA. The Buried Hatchet Stout if you want something a little bit stronger than that. And then they have the Barrel Aged Buried Hatchet Stout. That's what's called Black Crack over there, and you got 2 of those and you're good. You're good for a while. But Southern Star Brewing Company is the best beer in the entire world. I promise you guys. If you haven't drank Southern Star, what are you even doing with your life? Get it together. Southern Star Brewing Company, the best beer in the whole wide world, and we are happy they're sponsoring Pass the Gravy. Let's get into Comeback Kid, and this is I don't know if we did this the last time you were on the podcast.
I don't think so.
I don't think so. It's fairly new. It's like within the last year or so.
This guy's reinventing himself all the time.
What would happen is like there was stuff that I'd want to talk about, and we wouldn't be able to fit it in just like organically. So I was like, we can shoehorn in anything we want.
Sure.
If it's called Comeback Kid, and it's just like maybe like Alex, this has never been in this. Shut up. It's mine. It's my segment. I'm gonna make it up. Whatever. Ladalettes, you guys wanna play the intro?
It's the Comeback Kid. The Comeback Kid of the week. The Comeback Kid of the week. Bitch.
That bass line though. That bass line is sick.
It's swanky.
Yeah, it is. Those Ladalettes, very talented.
That was the best beer commercial I ever heard.
It's the best beer. It's super easy to talk for.
That was the best beer commercial I've ever heard in my life.
Thank you.
That was
a lot.
Very, very good.
Robert, cut that part. We'll cut that part. Save it. We'll send it to Southern Star.
Golly.
Keith, I hope you heard that. All right, let's start out with problematic holidays. That's a Comeback Kid this week because we are recording this on a Monday, like we just said, and Columbus Day.
Ooh. Well.
Indigenous Peoples Day?
Well, we talked about it a little bit this morning. We had mentioned it, and there's one, is it Rhode Island, that's doing both Native American and Columbus Day?
Which is like, you can't, like, they don't go together.
And it was half the states were giving you off. It was literally like a 24-23 split, and then there was one rogue one. Nobody knows what to do today.
So is your school racist if you took off? If you took off and on the school calendar it says Columbus Day, that's kind of racist, right?
I don't know if that it's racist.
We are here to be the podcast that calls out racism, Rod.
We're the
whistleblowers.
Is every bank racist?
Yep.
Every bank?
Every single bank.
So the bond market. See, Hal comes in and talks about this. Hal said that
you need to talk. Like, hey, why is the bond market so racist, Hal?
Yeah.
You need to bring that up tomorrow, first thing.
The bond market was closed, but the regular market was open. I'm like, what?
What is it like?
Nobody knows what to do.
I have no idea what that means.
Just give us another day. Take this day away from everyone.
Don't give anybody off. Move it.
But just give us, if you're hell bent on like having a day. Like there's just, like a Festivus or something. Didn't we talk about this on the air? Like
we should,
create a day in the middle of summer and like just boom. It's just the day, like senior skip day. That's what we tried to do, but it just didn't take off nationally.
I thought it took off pretty well.
This needs to go away already.
Yeah, it's like you're drawing more attention to it by like still observing it. And I don't really care either way. Like realistically, yeah, shitty thing looking back at what Columbus did, but like, we didn't fucking do that. Like, we had no say in that. Like, I don't know Chris Columbus. His name wasn't even Christopher Columbus. I learned that on the Rod Ryan show today.
I'm not even Italian.
His name was like Cristobal Cunt Fuckus or something like that. Yeah, and yeah, whatever. I don't know. But, like, Everybody's making a big deal about it. Just let them have their fucking day. I don't care. Indigenous Peoples Day sounds weird as a day. Like, whatever. Like, give them a day then. Give them a day, but just don't make it this day so you can't, like, say it's the same day.
Just fun day.
Yeah, just like...
Fun day.
Monday fun day.
Monday fun day.
Done.
That's it.
That's the best holiday ever.
And then you just get another long weekend.
Exactly.
Monday fun day, but you got to give us all off, though.
Right.
Like, everybody's on board, because who doesn't want to... Listen, nobody's going to ever accuse you of, like, oh, you're working today, you don't like to have fun? Well, my boss doesn't like me to have fun. I like to have fun.
There you go.
But Monday Fun Day, right here, this would be
It's
a
literally
perfect
in the
time.
name.
That would have been a killer long weekend. Would have been amazing.
You get back-to-back fun days. Sunday fun day, then Monday fun day. Oh, that's one hell of a weekend.
Because we don't get... Well, you probably do Sunday Fun Day. I don't do Sunday Fun Day because I got to get up in the
I
morning.
don't really do Sunday fun day that often.
You're doing Monday Fun Day right now.
Well, I'm drinking product. I'm pushing product.
And having fun.
Southern Star Brewing Company. Get some. Get some. But yeah, like, I don't know. It seems problematic. I don't like being. I don't know if you know this, but we are the first anti-Nazi podcast, first anti-racist podcast.
Good.
We ended the wage gap here on Pass the Gravy because every T-shirt you buy at PassTheGravyMerch.com, ladies' shirts are $1 off. Done. Fix that wage gap right there because ladies get paid like 75 cents to every dollar that a male gets. Well, now you got $1 off, so then there's the wage gap. Done. See ya. Out the window.
Much more positive about my appearance on this show.
The progressive.
No one's going to come after me.
Oh,
Like,
no,
what
they
are you
can't.
doing on that show? They're the ones that do this.
I'll be like, do you like Nazis? Because you must not like them.
They're the ones that are awesome.
Which is also a great spin zone because, like, if you don't like us, then we're like, well, you must support Nazis because we're an anti-Nazi podcast. And they're like, oh, damn it, you're right. I guess I will listen.
Good take.
So that's really what you got to do. You got to set up, like, I'm anti this and, like, make it something terrible. And then when somebody's like, I don't like that, you're like, oh, okay, guess you must like this weird thing, weirdo.
But what about all the other things that you should be anti on? Are you anti all of those things?
We're
too?
anti everything that's bad.
Okay, so anti-bad.
Anti-bad, pretty much.
Anti...
As it comes up, we'll call it out. But, like, you know, if we haven't thought of it yet, we'll address it eventually.
Sure, like bashing in baby seals' heads.
And no way.
Like, you don't want any part in taking a club and beating a baby seal's head.
Not a part of that. Not here. Not on this podcast.
I'm in the right podcast.
You know what?
then.
Also, anti-robbery podcast. If you're breaking into people's houses, not cool. Not cool. Anti that too. All right, Robert, write that down. Okay. We're gonna make a shirt. We'll make a shirt with that. Our final comeback kid is Bang Bros because, like, when your team sucks, you got to have some gimmicks. You're gonna get people to go to the game for.
Sure.
So Bang Bros are like, we'll bring the Bang Bus. And I was like, why don't they just film a porn at like a Dolphins game? Like, that would be killer. But they didn't do that. They just let people take pictures with the Bang Bus and contract chlamydia probably from it, whatever.
I was going to say, were they allowing anybody inside the bus?
I think they did. The doors were open. There were people sitting like...
Sure.
I didn't see anybody sitting in the bus, but they were sitting like with the doors open, kind of hanging out of the bus.
I've been out of the Bang Bros game for a it while.
It comes up every now and then.
Is that bus used for any of the shooting? The videos.
I'm assuming they have a couple of buses at this point.
Okay.
You know? But yeah, like if you're...
Well, when I was watching, they had a van.
Oh, and it was a white van. It was a white van is what came out. And it was
they
like...
always leave the girl, right?
Right, yeah. She's just still there. And there was no girl in it when I saw it, but like, this is a way you got it. Like, the Dolphins get it. They're like, we suck. It's either cocaine or Bang Bros. Like, we got to do that to get people to go to games.
You're talking like the team brought the bus in.
Oh no, I think that like they definitely had some say in it. Like, we need to have people come to this game because nobody goes to these games right now.
Anything to do with that bus?
Like,
being
it's Florida Marlins territory right now, where it's like there's nobody in these stands. Bring the Bang Bros. And then be like, all right, I'm going. I'll hang out.
So you think that, like, the GM called Bang Bros and said, listen, we need something.
We can't rule it out.
We got to get Alex talking.
Oh, I definitely think that's probably that's probably what it is. That's probably what it is. Like, Pass the Gravy is going to cover the fuck out of this. Send the Bang Bros over there.
Yeah, he covered it on the air, too.
So, yeah, Bang Bros, back. And like, I think like there's got to be other things that like you do with a shitty team that you gotta get marketing. You know, you gotta have seats. You gotta have people sitting in those seats or whatever. So
Jackie Moon.
do that. Yeah, Jackie Moon was great. Fight a bear. Jackie Moon's gonna wrestle a bear at halftime. I would have been there in a heartbeat. God damn it, Verkitis.
Or Bags of Bees.
Bags of Bees.
Everybody gets a bag of bees.
Rod has introduced me to Bags of Bees. Was like, he had a friend that wanted to give away bags of bees on the radio, and I am so on board with it.
He never got his dream. He's no longer with us. Jerry the Prize Fairy, God rest in peace.
Mm-hmm.
But he did throw that out there as a legitimate idea to give away bags of bees to listeners.
Which is a great idea.
So maybe your last place teams could go to the Jerry Prize Fairy, bag of bees trick.
Ooh.
And give away bags of bees.
I think so.
I'm just saying, if they're bringing in Bang Bros,
bag of bees.
how about a little to-go bag of bees?
Every quarter, we're giving away a bag of bees.
No, as you're walking out, a little to-go bag of bees.
It's like a Ziploc bag and there's just 6 bees in it.
Here, did you get your bees? Like, when you walk in, the first 3,000 people at a Nationals game get something. But this is like on the outro, you get your bag
of bees.
Don't forget to stop by sections 235, walk out, the E Pavilion, and get your bag of bees on your way out.
If bees die, we all die, right?
Yes.
People, they're literally the most important thing, so maybe we all need bag of bees. Just saying. Do you want to save the earth?
Jerry the Prize Fairy was ahead of his time.
That guy gets it.
It was in the 90s he came up with the bag of bees.
And he was trying to save the earth at that time,
and nobody's done it yet since.
Bag of bees, guys. Bag of bees. All right, so let's get into the not cool stuff because, Napa Auto Parts, it's sometimes not cool shit happens to your car, but Napa Auto Parts is always there to fix it, and we are going to now tell you guys what's up with our not cool. Now, remember, if you have a not cool that happens to you this week, it could be anything as small as stubbing your toe on the bed when you got out to go pee in the middle of the night. It could also be like somebody broke into your house. Like, that sucks. Hopefully that didn't happen to you guys. Hashtag PTG not cool, at Pass the Grade Pod. I'm at Alex J. Milton. Pat's at not Pat Dion. Robert is at Robert Barbosa 03. And send Rod your not cools as well, at Rod Ryan Show.
Sure, why not?
All right, so why don't we get the Ladlettes to play our little intro, and then we'll get into it.
Not cool, man. Dude, that's not cool. Not cool. Not cool. Dude, that's not cool, man. Dude, that's not cool. Not cool. Not cool. Dude, that's not cool. Not cool. Not cool.
People leaving baseball games early. Like, I was at a Saturday game. You paid for, it was an ALCS game, so you're paying pretty good for these tickets.
Right.
And, the 7th inning, people were leaving. And I was like, what are we doing, guys? I love Houston. I'm rooting for the Yankees, but Houston is they're fair weather fans when it comes to being at games. That's why the Rockets have to offer $1 beer to go to a playoff game by the time it starts. Like, hey, from this time to this time, so you'll show up in the fucking seats so we don't have just empty seats and a playoff game on TNT. We're going to give you $1 beer from this time to this time. Like, Astros fans we're leaving. And I was like, guys, come on. You paid for playoff tickets? And you're going to leave?
That was the first game where they were getting blown out.
But then I saw a video of last night where people were just making there was a mass exodus, and they were tied, and they were getting ready to go to extra innings. And I get okay, yeah, Monday morning is coming around. I understand that. But still, it's a playoff game, dude. It's a playoff game.
So
it's a bad look.
Okay, that's what I'm going to say. So I'm going to get to the root of what upsets you about it. You think it looks bad on TV to see people leaving?
I think it looks bad as a fan base to have your team, your people just piecing out. You're tied going into extra innings and people are just bailing. Mm-hmm. That doesn't sit. One, it doesn't seem like they're very confident that their team's going to play well, and two, it's just you're not a real fan.
What about leaving a concert early? Is it the same?
I mean. If you I don't know, if you hear, cause to me, it's if you hear, if you go for a hit, if you went to go see the Foo Fighters and you're waiting for them to play Everlong and they play Everlong and you're like, all right, well, it's late, I got to get out. You saw Everlong, that's what you came for. You come to watch the end of the game, right?
Not if they're getting blown out.
In an extra inning game?
No. I can't imagine leaving in a situation like that.
And I get that it's super late, but I remember my parents took me to a Braves-Mets NLCS game back when the Braves were the John Smoltz years. They lost to the Yankees in the World Series that year. I was at that. I was one of those games too. But I remember the Braves went. It was 16 innings, and my dad let us stay the whole time. And we were getting ready to go. We had school the next day, and he was like, "What's this, a playoff game? How many times do you get to come to this?"
Right.
And it was just one of those where it's that's a real fan right there. Somebody that lets people stay. You stay even though you're gonna be tired as fuck in the morning. And there were people that were dead ass tired today at work that stayed the whole time or stayed up watching. And it's just come on, man. I get you got to drive home. I understand that. But it's a playoff game. This is the most important game of their season at this point.
The whole time you're talking, I'm trying to come up with another scenario where it's okay, well, it's the equivalent of this, meaning what else would you not care about, but somebody else would be sitting there going, oh my God, this is a really, really big deal. I mean, you paid for that seat. You paid a lot of money for it.
Who am I to tell somebody what to do with their money? They spent that money or whatever.
I get it. Listen, I get it. I remember the movie Invincible. And the people were leaving. The Eagles are getting blown out, and Mark Wahlberg's like, "Where are you going? Where are you going? The game's not over."
Yeah.
It's like, there's always going to be those super diehards that are going to sit there.
And I'm
wait
also
till the
that
last
idiot
second.
that watches my team getting blown out 48-0 and is just like, nope, I can't change the channel because I have to sit here and make my stupid self watch this dumb game, even though there's other games on that I could watch. But I'm going to watch my team just get blown out because I care about my team.
How many concerts have you left early? That you paid money to go see. How many concerts did you leave early?
I would say less. I would say I've stayed at more all the way through than I have left.
Right, but you have left a concert.
There's been a
early.
couple, but
Okay.
like a lot. But it was like I was saying, like I want to see this song. This is a band maybe I don't care about as much. Like,
Because ultimately, I know it's a sport, but it's still entertainment.
I understand that.
And a concert is entertainment. So, like, I just know because I get up so early that even in a situation where it's like you want to stay in your heart of hearts, but you know that it's just going to kick your ass the next day, you could easily say, well, then you shouldn't have gone at all because there's always that chance. But what you're talking about, concerts and a baseball game, it's entertainment.
But it's a playoff game.
It's entertainment still.
Yeah,
It's
and
still,
you're right. You're
it's
right.
Still, and you paid for that ticket. And if you heard the song that you wanted, or you went to see Verlander pitch and they took him out in the
that's a
seventh,
good point.
that's your song. Your Everlong was Verlander pitching, and it's like, you know what? I got to see him pitch. I'll listen to the rest in the car on the way home.
Yeah, I guess that's a good point. And Robert Ford and Steve Sparks are great guys to listen to on the radio if you're listening to an Astros game.
Absolutely, with the calls the call that you played this morning. I mean, that was
Robert Ford lost his shit. You heard that,
priceless.
Robert? Oh my God, it was so good.
Priceless call.
It was so good, and they're one of the most underrated broadcast teams for like a Major League Baseball team. Like they're right up there in the best of the league.
Right, but I could see somebody that's a huge music fan not understanding somebody leaving a concert early. How could you leave? This makes our city look bad. They're not going to come back here because they're going to say that people left their show early. It's the same thing. It's the same thing.
Also, Astros Twitter, and I shit on Astros Twitter a lot, but like I just got two little things real fast. But the video of the Yankees guys tossing the ball up towards the train, we're like, how dare them do that? It's like they weren't pegging the train. They were just trying to see if they could land it in the little orange basket or on the wheel. And it was like, well, they're trying to vandalize it. I was like, they're not trying to vandalize it, guys. If they wanted to vandalize it, they could throw lasers up there.
That came from the Astros Twitter?
Like, not the Astros, but like Astros Twitter is like a group of people that like to talk shit about like anything. Like, yeah, they're those people. And also, the lady sitting in front of me on Saturday night was Astros Twitter, and she was talking so much shit and was on her Instagram the entire time and on Facebook the entire time and did not watch the game. So don't go to a game talking about how you're a huge fan and then just tweet the whole time. Maybe pay attention.
Yeah, everybody's...
I don't know. That's me. These are very specific not cools, but those are my not cools. Those are my not cools. I get it. They're not everybody's not cool. Those are mine. And I was like, come on, fuck you. Like, you're talking shit and then you're just gonna not even pay attention to the game. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? You reading the cliff notes too of the show that you're about to talk about later on?
True.
What is your not cool, Rod? Do you have one?
What is my not cool?
Doesn't have to be a big one. Just something that's like, man, this is inconvenient, or man, that really sucked.
I mean, defending Billie Eilish.
Yeah. You could say that. I mean, like, I don't understand why people like hate on her so much. And I mean, honestly,
duh.
Like, honestly, like maybe doing this bit last week has made me just love that song a little bit more. But
I like that song now.
It's almost like the hate that people have for Billie Eilish is making me like her more.
Well, that plays into your hand. So that play, I can see where that would
It's
you
like,
would like it more. Like, oh,
I
you
was
don't
like
like
the
that?
wet
I'm gonna
paint
like
guy,
it.
like the caution, don't touch wet paint. I'm like, fuck you, I'm trying it.
Right.
Like, I'm that point, and you're like, oh, because people get so mad over it, and they're like, dude, why are y'all playing this crap? It's like the top alt rock song, like one of the top 5 alt rock songs for months now.
Because the problem is if it's played on KRBE, they think, okay, it's that. I mean, she's the definition of alternative. I tried to explain this. I tried to explain this to a guy this weekend, and I took the time. Okay, it's the weekend. Now, my kid was taking a nap. It wasn't taking away from my family or anything, but I'm jumping on the email, and I'm trying to get some work done on the weekend. And I took the time. I'm like, you know what? This guy sounds like he's okay. I'm going to take the time to explain something to him. You know, people do not want to hear that our radio station is a business. They don't want to hear it's a job. There's no difference.
People still think that you are picking every single song that we play.
But I can't, I don't understand why somebody couldn't, like, kind of understand, like, would be like me showing up to your shop and telling you that that's a shitty weld. That weld isn't really that good. It's like, what do you know about welding to tell me that weld's not that good? Well,
I don't like it.
I don't know anything about it, but I just don't think that weld looks good. The music business and the business of radio is a business. There's a whole business about it. I tried to explain it to this guy, and he just wrote me back and I said, dude, you're not going to like any of this, but I'm going to take a second here to kind of explain why we're playing Billie Eilish. And he just wrote me back and lit me up and just said all kinds of curse words. And I'm like, okay, this is why why would I bother? Why would I bother with this?
And so I did a deep dive into Billie Eilish last week, because I was like, I'm going to be on board the Billie Eilish train or I'm going to be anti Billie Eilish train. And let me just give you guys, maybe if you're on the fence right now, her name is Billie Eilish Pirate Baird O'Connell. Like, she has pirate in her name.
Yep.
I'm all aboard somebody with the name pirate. Like, I don't care what you did. Obviously, if you're not, as long as you're not a Nazi or a racist or you hate women or whatever. Okay. But if your name is pirate in it, I'm 100% on board.
Modern day pirates are pretty cool. The old pirates were bad dudes,
but still made great movies.
They did.
They made some great movies about them though. But still, she has 75 names and one of them is pirate. Like, I'm in.
She's talented too. That whole,
she reminds me a lot of Lorde though.
That whole whisper thing that she's doing in those hits. Correct. Did you look up anything else? She can sing.
Oh, she can.
She can sing. And then her bro
was in Glee.
Her bro is in the beats. He's putting those beats together for her and stuff. So
his name is Phineas.
I think there's a lot of manufacturing going on with her, and there's a lot of people that are looking at her and they're seeing dollar signs. But there's something different about her.
Duh.
But there's still, I get it. So I guess if it was something that was, what's the segment called?
Not cool.
Not cool. Not cool is like making me feel like you want me to explain something to you, and then when I take the time to explain it to you, you act like I didn't even take the time to say anything.
I literally just sent you all of this stuff.
And all I did was like dig a deeper hole.
Yeah.
Not cool.
That is not cool.
Not cool.
That is not cool.
I took the time to email you over the weekend, Dick.
And I might as well just talk to a wall at that point.
I should have just hit delete. I should have gone and done it. I could have, on the time I spent on your email, I could have probably answered 25 really good ones.
That's very true, though.
Jerk.
But guys, let's check. We don't hate on Billie. Billie Eilish, by the way, if you want to come on the podcast, always welcome.
Oh yeah, good luck,
Robert. If you can book that'd be great. We got Lil Nas X to agree to come on the podcast.
Did he?
Do say nothing if you agree, and he said nothing. So
he was on. Ergo,
he's due. We haven't scheduled it yet, but
okay.
I said say nothing if you're down, and he said nothing. So that obviously showed he agreed to it.
Keeping his options open.
That's just a little fun fact for all you up and comers right now. Like, just if you're trying to book an interview, say nothing if yes. And then it kind of puts them in. It kind of puts the ball in their court.
It's not a no.
It's not exactly. He didn't say no. We did that for our 300th episode. I was like, Lil Nas X might make a performance there, and I was like, well, he didn't say no.
He never said he wasn't coming.
It's up in the air. Maybe he'll be there. Madonna also might be there too. We don't know. We can't rule it out.
You went big though.
Maybe.
Nice.
Maybe. I mean, there's only one Old Town Road, and there's probably multiples, but there's only really one.
Alex and I argue about this all the time. This song, it's huge.
It's so good.
Song of the year.
Song of summer for sure. Yeah, song of the year. Probably song of the year.
Probably song of the year.
Longest number one song ever in history, though.
The history of that song in the record books now is it's going to come up in a wedding 10 years from now, and everybody's going to go, oh, yeah, remember this? And it's MC Hammer.
But Panini is also
it's MC Hammer.
He last week had the number 2 and number 4 most watched / streamed videos on YouTube with Panini and Old Town Road.
It's going to come up in a wedding in 10 years, and it's Bust a Move. That's what it is.
I don't think so, because I think he's talented, dude. I think he's talented. I just don't. I think the way he talks about how he got big was that he figured out meme culture. He turned it into a meme.
Right.
Was able to hop on TikTok with it. He was like, I knew it had to be short. I knew it had to be country. I knew it had to be rap. I knew it had to be funny, and I knew it had to be quick. And he just pushed that. And he all of his songs are within 3 minutes.
Right.
They're perfect radio length songs. Like, they're catchy as shit. Panini was fucking killer. It's got the Nirvana thing. So he's got to give the writing credits to Trent Reznor. He's got to give the writing credits to, like, Kurt Cobain and That Estate and everything like that. But, like, people listen to it. And I think it's not going to be MC Hammer. I don't think it's going to be MC Hammer. I think he's going to put out a full-length album.
You forget how big. You probably were too young. You don't remember how big MC Hammer was.
We used to. I don't have the sticker anymore.
Huge.
West Ham. Shout out West Ham. Let's go Irons. Come on, you Irons. But we have MC Hammer. Don't actually cut that part out because we don't know if we own the rights to that. But we have Stop Hammer's Time shirts that we sell because he's got the parachute pants or just the big MC Hammer pants, I guess is what
we won't know. Like you said, is Billie Eilish going to become Lorde? You know, Lorde hasn't really had the follow up.
I didn't think anyway. I was like, there's no way that Lil Nas X is going to be able to top Old Town Road. And then he put out his EP, and I was like, this guy's actually pretty talented. There's 3 different songs, like Rodeo with Cardi B, he killed. Panini killed, and it was a huge hit. But
you keep talking about Panini and all that stuff. Like I haven't heard this song.
Well, I mean, you're just not up with the hip hop. So.
I know I'm not, but you couldn't.
We also on this podcast months out called Panini being a huge hit. Too, I'm kind of tied to that.
My mom knows Old Town Road. It was a massive cultural. It was Macarena.
Yeah.
Okay. So the follow up to Macarena, I bet probably sold some records. I don't know what it was, but in the day, I bet you the Panini of Macarena probably was a thing. It remains to be seen about this kid. It remains to be seen. I hope he does good. I hope he's got a good team around him.
I think he does. And I don't know. He seems like he's being smart about it, where he's not rushing out albums. And I think a lot of young rappers would just rush out, like, here's 2 albums.
It was a little weird him taking a break.
I don't understand that. He
canceled shows.
Yeah, that was weird.
That could come back to haunt him.
Not from me.
That could come back to haunt him. You don't turn down shows.
I understand that, and I think that was a little weird, but I think that this kid's I think he's going places. But so that's our Not Cool segment. And then we got one final segment, and you definitely did this with us last time. But it was a while ago, and it's the answers segment now. Sometimes, you know, you have there's no such thing as a stupid question. Miss Winters, my 3rd grade teacher at Farr Elementary in Lawrenceville, Georgia, once said, and I remember raising my hand and being like, okay, there's no such thing as a stupid question, and asking a question. I don't remember what I asked, but I remember being laughed at, and I was like, what, guy? Like, she literally just told us this. So I was like, one day I'm gonna be in charge, and I'll answer all the stupid questions because I don't want to feel that way again.
Okay.
And I was never put in charge of anything, but I started a podcast, so I sort of put myself in charge. And then I was
you're like the king of this podcast.
But, like, right? I didn't get put in charge. I just made it. So it was
all right. You can appoint yourself.
So I was like, all right, well, if you guys have any questions, if it's a high thought you have, if you see a funny billboard that you want to know the answer to something on that, if you have a funny question you just want to ask the answer to, we'll get to it. answers@passthegraypod.com if you want to email them to us, and then also you can tweet them to us, which is the preferred way to go about it. #PTG Answers @PassTheGrayPod. I'm at Alex J. Middleton. Pat's at Not Pat Dan. Robert's at Robert Barbosa03. Give Rod Ryan Show a follow at Rod Ryan Show as well. And this week's Answer segment is brought to you by Little M Air Fresheners. Change is good, and Little M's now offering free shipping when you buy 5 or more air fresheners. You can now sniff them out on Twitter at Little M Tweets. Follow along for hilarious tweets and to show how you get fresh using the hashtag Little M. That's Little EM. And like now with everything being $2, like that's 5 air fresheners, you get free shipping. It's pretty awesome. They're the best air fresheners in the world. I got 2 in my car right now. My favorite's the Out of This World, and the Rad design and Fresh to Death is definitely my favorite scent. The Miami Beach is also pretty dope too. They have Smell You Later, Be Cool. They got a bunch of cool designs and everything like that, and they're all just $2. So go support a local business, littlemshop.com. That's littleemshop.com for the best air fresheners in the whole world. Let's get to the Answers segment. This is my favorite segment every week we get to do.
You save this is the best for last.
This is it. I just saving the best. So here we go. Ladlettes.
Well, if you just answered the question. Why don't you just answer the question? Be honest. No big deal. Yeah, answer the question.
Don't change the subject. Just answer the fucking question.
While I open up questions. God damn it. I always talk over it. I used to have to hit, so I used to not have that saved in the intro, and I would have to hit any questions from David Pumpkins.
Okay.
And then I added it, and I still talk over it every single week. But while we're talking about David S. Pumpkins.
How's it hanging? I'm David Pumpkins, and I'm gonna scare the hell out of you.
Any questions?
I can't believe how much you obsess over that.
The 31 for 31 challenge. I'm still going strong on it. I have not missed. I'm 14 days in, and I've watched it every single time.
The SNL bit.
The SNL bit, not the whole special. I'm with the special that's closer to Halloween. But
okay. You watch it every day.
Yeah, it's just 4 minutes. It's 4 minutes of the greatest SNL bit ever. Did you watch SNL this week yet?
No, I haven't seen it.
Oh, David Harbour from Stranger Things.
So I heard there's an Oscar the Grouch.
That's the best. That maybe since David S. Pumpkins, the best bit.
I heard it was good.
What
is it? What are they parroting?
Joker.
That's right. Joker.
Right. He turned, and society didn't understand him, and he's like, "I'm a grouch." It's so good. It's so good. Go watch SNL. It's very early in SNL too. It's like the first, before the first break, I think. Maybe after the first break.
Is David Harbour good?
I only saw through that part, and then I fell asleep because I was drunk when I was watching. But Drunk Me was loving it. Drunk Me was loving it. All right, let's get to our first question. This is from Skylar Lester, our podcast son. Pat and I have raised him on the podcast. Basically, we're not we didn't have to pay for any of this stuff. So Jerry Lester, he listens to the morning show as well.
He sure does.
But Jerry's son, Skylar, we just we've raised him via podcast. So that's
being raised by wolves.
It's basically what it is, but just podcast version of wolves.
Monkeys.
And at OMG, it's Skylar on Twitter. So Skylar says, "What if Stephen Hawking was the real Slim Shady, but we never knew because he couldn't stand up?"
Wow. How old's this kid?
Our son just graduated college not too long ago, so I would assume he's in his 20s, 22-ish maybe.
Okay.
23 maybe.
So what if Stephen F. Hawkins,
Stephen F. Hawkins was the
real Slim Shady,
but we didn't know because he couldn't stand up.
Wow.
So M's like, "Yo, will the real Slim Shady please stand up?" And he's just like, "I cannot stand up."
But he would tell you.
I think he would. So I don't think he is the real Slim Shady because the Eminem's the real Slim Shady, and everybody knows that.
Yeah.
So I would say that's a solid theory, but just Stephen Hawking wasn't a real Slim Shady, and Stephen Hawking, we all know, he's not cool enough to be a real Slim Shady.
Is it even Stephen F. Hawking, or did we just throw that in there?
Did we just throw Stephen? Yeah, Stephen F. Hawking. That's what it is now.
I think.
What did F. Hawking do to you?
Why are you effing Hawking?
Stephen F. Hawking, exactly what we're gonna go with.
Did I throw the F in there?
I think you did.
I think you did.
Did I say it?
I think you might have said it, and then
If I said it, I didn't intend to say it, but we're gonna
parrot.
From now on, if we could all just refer to him as Stephen F. Hawking, in not just past the gravy scenarios, just every scenario. Did you hear that study by Stephen F. Hawking? And who? Was that his brother?
Why are you mad at him?
So I would say no, he's not the real Slim Shady, but what if? That'd be crazy. I just don't think he's the real Slim Shady because it's Marshall Mathers or Eminem is the real Slim Shady.
I'm going to have to go with Eminem is the real Slim Shady
there you go. All right, our next question. See, that's a pretty good one. Thanks, son.
Not bad.
Good question, son. You're I'm a dad now. You're raising a child. I'm raising a child via podcast. It's a little bit easier. It's a little bit cheaper.
Yeah, it seems a little easier.
But I would say I don't know if we have the same connection. I'd like to think we do, but I don't know if his real dad thinks that.
I felt the love. I felt the love in that answer.
It's funny because he'll send me stuff on Twitter sometimes. And be like, "Hey, thanks, Dad." It makes my day. He's like, "Thanks, Dad. Good call, Dad. You're welcome, son." All right, Stephanie E. Bow Bow, Day Bow Bow at Stephaniezy. That's Stephanie with 5 E's on Twitter. She says, "When bald people, this is perfect for you. When bald people wash their face, how high up do they go?"
The whole thing.
Is it all just one?
Full Monty.
Do you there's no shampoo, obviously. It's just soap? Is it soap on the dome?
It's it's soap.
Do you go bar soap? Or do you have to condition?
I use...
You don't want to dry out, right?
I use the a loofah thingy.
Oh.
So whatever I'm using all over the place, face, head, I don't really just sit around in the sink and wash my face. I probably should, but in the shower... Right. It's all one. Yeah, dudes are easy. Dudes don't have his products like you girls do. So, it's just the same soap. It's a lotion soap. Or it's a squeeze liquid soap.
See, I used to be a shower gel guy, and then I just realized how much of it I was wasting. Because I had the.
What did you put it on?
My hand.
Then you waste. The loofah works it. and then boom.
But doesn't loofahs get like they get moldy? They get
they're
old.
not
Like
that expensive.
I'm not that good at like remembering to change it out. And it's like, oh, 4 months later, I have a gross fucking loofah that's just sitting here.
A penis growing out of your back.
Yeah,
They're not that expensive.
hate when that happens.
Pick up a bag of them.
A bag of loofahs.
A bag of loofahs.
A loofah bag. Do they have bags of loofahs? Bags of loofahs, bags of bees.
I am grossed out that the loofahs are sitting out there just raw. Like
Just
they're
hanging.
not. They're not like.
Anybody could touch them.
I won't buy them if they're not packaged.
Okay.
I won't buy a loofah if it's not packaged up. I'll buy them online. But if you see them at HEB, they're just like loose in a bin.
Yeah.
Every filthy paw's been in that thing.
Exactly. Like so were you ever like a washcloth guy?
I wasn't really a washcloth
I was never a
guy.
washcloth guy. Robert, are you a washcloth guy?
No. I have like this like jute loofah that I
What does that
use.
mean? A jute?
A jute. It's just material.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
A jufa.
A jufa. Ooh, I like that. That's a cool one.
No, I wasn't really a washcloth guy either, to be honest with you. No, I provide them for my guests that stay over the house.
What do you do with a washcloth? Is it supposed to be like you put the soap on that? Would that be what you would wash yourself with? Like
Yeah,
I've always
because-
wondered. Like I don't know how to properly use a washcloth unless I have like a stuffy nose and I got to put it over my face and it's got hot water on it.
Correct. Yeah, but the soap is supposed to go on the washcloth and then on you
Okay.
because you were losing so much soap. If you're not using
I just use bar soap.
something, bar soap, then what? Balls, face, everything.
Well, no, you put it on your hand first and then
You
can-
never once took the soap, went from your balls to your face.
No. I'm very, very, very particular about that.
I've done that.
I put
Come on.
the bar will go everywhere else, not near the balls.
Right.
Not near the balls.
No balls.
No balls.
Your balls are fresh.
But,
They're-
like,
and they're your balls.
They're my balls, but like I don't know. Emma might be using that Irish Spring. Emma likes that Spring, yo.
So if there's a bar soap in your shower right now.
Yeah.
That bar of soap has never touched your beanbag.
Has not.
No.
It's not. I'm very particular about that.
I'm rubbing that thing up the crack of my ass. Everything. Who cares?
I had a friend
because then you're when you go to use it, you're whittling down the stuff that touched your balls.
I'll do the.
You know what I mean? Like you're eroding.
Yeah.
You're eroding anything that touched your balls. You don't touch your balls and then put it in the soap dish.
I don't
This
use the
was-
same side for one.
See,
I switch sides.
I had-
So my face is one side and then my balls are the other side.
Robert, you do not flip the soap over.
I
Nobody's
do.
that.
Not
woke.
every time. Yeah, that's a lot of work. But like I had a friend that was like that adamant about it, where he had 2 bars of soap.
No.
He had 2.
Come on,
and like they
guys.
were different. Like one of them was like one of those hotel ones. Like, yeah, I wash my balls with that one. And I was like, you seriously have 2 separate ones?
You're constantly eroding whatever touched whatever. I mean, soap. It goes down.
But this is going towards like our buddy asked us that question last week, where it was like, if you drop soap on the floor, is the soap dirty or is the floor clean at that point? And I was like, I don't know. Whoa. Yeah. These are the kind of hard hitting questions that we get asked. Wow. That's what I like about these guys and gals. But Stephanie says, yeah, how high do you go? So you said just all over.
Oh
Just
yeah,
all over.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
There's no just washing your face. You don't just stop above your eyebrows. There's nothing there to stop. Just
It's a good
keep
question.
going.
I've actually I was wondering that.
Yeah, face, behind the ears, neck.
Okay.
It's all one wash.
Okay.
One wash.
All right. So good question, Stephanie. Let's move along to Luke Soin, who emailed in, and he says, "How do you plant seedless watermelons?" Whoa. Do you just plant a whole watermelon?
I don't know how they've engineered any of this stuff.
How do you It's not made. You don't plant those, right? Those are made.
It's planted. It grows that way.
But then, how do you just? Do they take the seeds out?
What happened to that first seed?
Yeah, it had to start somewhere.
It started from a seed.
In a
but
science, is that like a test tube baby?
it doesn't split into other seeds.
I think it's like a test tube baby. It's got to be. You know?
Like a laboratory watermelon.
Yeah. Like where it wasn't like
Braca flower,
exactly,
right?
or grapples.
It's like people are playing God.
It really is,
with our
and I'm not
produce.
okay with that. I'm not okay with it. All right, let's leave that up to him or Jesus. You know, Jesus.
Jesus. Well, you already pissed him off earlier.
Well, he likes us. He's got a sense of humor. Remember,
your
we talked about
earlier
that.
segment.
Yeah, I don't know how you plant seedless watermelons, Robert. You have any ideas? Like, what? I don't get it.
No, I'm stumped on this one. I guess you would have just have to plant the whole watermelon and just hope something.
It's got. You
something
just
grows.
throw a watermelon in the ground and just hope it turns into something else.
Bunch of farmers here.
Obviously,
Bunch
you
of
got,
regular farmer Teds in
obviously
this room.
these guys get it. These guys get agriculture.
You can tell what we're all doing on the weekends. Farming.
Farming our seedless watermelons.
We had the same discussion on the air. Like, what's the difference between a farmer and a rancher?
Yeah.
Right? What's the difference?
I don't know. Well, no, because farmers grow crops and ranchers have like animals or something. Was what people said, but I was like, I don't buy that. I don't buy that.
Farmers have cows.
Yeah, I don't get it.
And veggies.
Makes no damn sense.
I don't know.
That's what it is. But yeah, I guess jury's still out on that, Luke.
City folk.
All right, our next to last question comes from our buddy Josh Tree Caudle at Joshua Tree 713. He says, "Do turkeys get sleepy from that thing that's in turkey that makes you sleepy?"
Tryptophan?
Tryptomorphin or
Tryptophan.
tryptophan.
I think it's tryptophan.
But that's what like everybody's always like. You fall asleep after you eat Thanksgiving turkey.
If they cannibalized each other,
But
then-
if you have that in you,
Right.
they're probably are they just chronically tired?
they might be tired. I don't know.
Or turkeys just that where they're gobbling? Someone's like, I'm so tired, I can't sleep.
Turkeys seem pretty awake though, so I think that it's kind of like an immune system. It's like a kryptonite.
They've
type of
adapted to
thing.
it.
Yeah, like it's kryptonite to us, but
Right.
it doesn't affect them.
But if they ate, like if a turkey ate a turkey, then it's definitely gonna.
I think they're immune to it. Wow. I think they're immune.
That would
to
make
it.
sense.
I think
Because like you're a turkey, so obviously you have that in you.
you're producing it. It's in you. If you had more of it, you'd be fine with it. Yes. No, they're not tired.
They're not tired.
No, they're not tired.
No, I don't think so. All right, we got one last question. This is it. And this is from our girl who actually we called her out because she didn't show up to the 300th episode. And then she kind of went MIA for a little bit. Cassie J, the Squatch God. She doesn't have social media. We've emailed her about this. She doesn't use any of that shit, but she's the Squatch God. She will not explain why she's the Squatch God. I don't know. Is it short for Sasquatch? It makes no sense.
Squatch God?
Cassie J, the Squatch God, is what she emails us as. That's her email.
Maybe Squatch is a really cool sex move.
We can only hope.
But then it should be the Squatch Goddess. Yeah,
Right?
I don't know.
I don't know. I have no idea. But she says, is a tow truck just a car hearse?
Wow.
I mean, it could be.
It's kind of like
If your car's dead,
Is it more like an ambulance?
I would say it's more of a car ambulance.
Because
like
those
your
cars
car's
are
not always
coming-
dead though.
Like nobody's coming back to life. That's your final resting spot, right? When you're dead, you're in the hearse. You're done.
That's it. R.I.P.
But
IP.
the tow truck, you're going to get it fixed. It's more like an EMT.
Okay,
CMT.
Exactly. A CMT, country music television.
Yeah, I would liken it more to. I mean, it's a great observation. I would think it'd be more of like a first responder.
Because you could have one. You just got to restart it. You know, you got to take it, get fixed up at the shop. You know, something happened to your car. You can fix it, and then it's good. And then, like, if it's dead, then like there are obviously ones where it's like it's dead. There's R.I.P. in peace to that car. But like
Those are those long flatbed trucks that got all the dead.
Are those
piled
tow trucks?
cars. Are those tow trucks? Those are flatbed trucks.
Those are just cars or trucks carrying cars.
Trucks
They're
carrying
cars.
They're
Car squared.
trucks carrying cars.
Truck cars.
Where's the confusion?
I mean, it seems pretty simple right there.
How did you get cars out of a truck carrying a car?
I don't know. I have no idea. Yeah, no, I'd go with Rod on that one. It's more like a tow
EMT.
truck's more of a car ambulance
Yes,
of that, or a car EMT.
for sure.
I think we got to the bottom of a lot of these questions here.
Good questions, though.
Yeah, well done, gang. That was a good crop.
Good questions.
Did you have any questions? Do you have any questions you'd like to ask us? How's your mood ring going?
I was going to bring up the mood ring, so it's moved around a little bit.
I'm blue right now.
So blue is normal.
Good.
Right? So I was just getting into some weird with those questions. It really got yellow. I was getting a little anxious, apparently, according to the mood ring. So now I'm kind of getting into, I got from anxious, now I'm just more mixed emotions. But yeah, it was turning yellow during those questions, so you guys really got things stirring in me.
But at Pass Gray Pod, I'm at Alex J. Middleton. Pat's at Not Pat Dan. Robert's at Robert Barbosa 03. Rod Ryan Show at Rod Ryan Show. Listen every weekday morning, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. on 94.5 The Buzz. Also on the iHeartRadio app. And hit us up like, hey, heard Pass Gravy. dope pod, guys. And then also, if you haven't reviewed us on iTunes, like, what are you doing? We have the Gravies Award coming up December 20th at our 6th annual Christmas Spooktacular, and one of the Gravy Awards goes to Best Podcast Review. Now, all you gotta do, go on iTunes, give us that 5-star review, and just roast the fuck out of us. The best one gets picked. You get an award. Just roast us. It doesn't matter what you write. Just write, just talk shit about us. I don't care. But give us the 5 stars. That's all we need.
Right.
Give us the 5 stars. We show up higher on the list.
Where do you review?
On iTunes. On iTunes, anywhere you're listening to it, just go roast us on the review section. Just give us that 5 stars, though. You got to give us the 5 stars, because then we show up higher on the iTunes list. We show up higher everywhere else, and then more people can hear about us. Share us with a friend, because that's the best way that we spread this podcast around. We appreciate all of you guys for spending your time listening to us. Rod, I appreciate you for coming on the podcast. Thanks for letting me work for you. Thanks for that, too.
Well, you
that really helps.
Just keep doing a good job. Don't F it up.
It's fun. It's fun every morning. I never thought I would be super excited to wake up at 3:30 every morning, and I am super excited every single time.
If you don't make it fun and you got to get up at 3:20, 3:30 in the morning, then it's not going to last long.
That's very true.
You have to make it fun.
That's very true.
You have to. Those hours are the worst.
But it's also kind of dope that we get off in the middle of the day. Like, it's 5:05, and we've been doing this for 2 hours now, so that was pretty sweet.
How long have we been on?
We're at about 2:40 right now, and that's not including PTG picks that we will add in later. But you guys already heard that, so it doesn't matter. But thanks again for coming to the podcast at Rod Ryan Show. And Rod Ryan Show, check it out, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. every weekday morning, 94.5 The Buzz. I love you guys. Thanks for listening. Until we talk to you guys next week, pass the gravy, you bitches.
Ride till I can't no more. I'm gonna take my horse to the old town road. I'm gonna ride till I can't no more. I got the